Hello. Hello. How is everyone doing? How are the Amerimuts doing? This is Amerimut Hour. The Amerimuts have triumphed over the Europores, and now they get to enjoy a midday stream as I attempt to stay up until midnight with enough energy and mental capacity to carry a broadcast. But I feel it necessary, regardless of my tribulations, to to someone answered in chat saying suicide. How are you doing? When you don't feel good, the correct answer is I feel fine. That is the socially acceptable response to that question. This my podcast is oddly the thing that is the most stable and reliable aspect of all my shenanigans. So I believe that it is extremely necessary that I try to fulfill my commitments to my listening audience, regardless of my failures in doing so. So just as a brief explanation, the I don't know what happened. I have been okay. So many years ago, I left the bold and beautiful nation of the United States, and I went to Australia. And there, I bought a universal adapter for my plug. And ever since then, I have been using this universal adapter to try and uh, like plug shit in to walls, regardless of where I go. So my at some point something happened, and this thing tripped a fuse in my apartment, and I had to finally put to rest this universal adapter and find a specific connecting cable from a power supply unit to the wall of my house without having to use apparently shoddy and abused equipment to do so. And I had to wait until the package actually arrived to start the stream, and now it has arrived. Oh, okay. Also, my router is on the fritz. Listen, everything is on the fritz. Everything possible. I am on the most neighbor rigged setup imaginable, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. There might be connection issues. There may be dropping out. My mic might sound like shit. My computer might just turn off. My apartment, every fuse in my apartment might just burn out at once, and I will be offline. I promise you nothing. I will just continue forward to the best of my ability and hope that that is enough. So when it rains, it pours. Neighbor's Wi-Fi. No comment. Um. Okay, so I will say this: I ran two community posts and for my YouTube channel. I received some replies. The first of which is I pitched the idea of doing a second stream, during which I have enough trouble as it is doing one stream. But as I said, my streams are pretty stable and reliable and a good old time for everybody involved. So I might as well try to do a second one for Merrimack Hours. It would be at this time. And I offered my audience two options. Either A, Saturday or Sunday, and basically split the topics of the streams. Do one stream more off topic and one stream more, person oriented, internet drama oriented, or have two streams that are equidistant within the week and just have them be shorter as opposed to being consistently 3 to 4 hours, which they now stretch into. And this was one of the tightest polls in the history of mankind. Saturday got 38%, Sunday got 11%, Monday got 12%, and Tuesday got 39%. So it looks like what people would want is another weekday stream that is during work hours that is just the same thing but a little bit shorter, like a more periodic episode as opposed to one big weekly episode. So Tuesday is probably what I'm gonna go with, and just stick with that as opposed to streaming on the weekend. And then the weekend stays available for video game streams or whatever. So Tuesday boys, I saw Tuesday gang was very, very violent in the comment section, demanding action, demanding a Tuesday victory. and they have overcome at the last second too. It was like tied, literally tied, because you can't see in like percentage points. So it was like 38-12 and then 11-39 for the duration until like just today. So the other thing, someone is that I asked for a book recommendation, and this received 662 replies. There were 3 of them that I was interested in. I've ended up reading one. It's by Dave Carnegie. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't know who suggested this. I can't find their comment, but shout out to that guy. I would actually, brief synopsis, it is sort of like a book on how to manipulate people as opposed to how to actually make friends. It's just sort of like attitude adjustments and ways you can talk to people without pissing them off. So is it not Dave? I've never referenced this book. I've referenced How to Lose at Everything and Still Win Big, but I've never referenced this the Carnegie book. It is a very old book. This book is very similar to that book that Oprah shilled, where it's sort of like it's sort of like the white woman equivalent of Sam Hyde's Think It, Dream It, Do It. It's what is it called when you think of something so it materializes in real life? The Secret, exactly. The David Carnegie thing is very much like, it's kind of like an old school The Secret, where it's not as retarded as The Secret makes that idea manifesting. It's not as retarded as that. It's sort of just how if you treat people a certain way, they will respond to your requests and acquiesce without actually having to be compelled to do so. I would recommend it to anyone in business and marketing, and I would recommend it to anyone who is a horrifically socially retarded misanthrope. If you would apply the term horrifically socially retarded misanthrope to yourself, read this book. It's pretty good. No, I feel like it's a little bit dated, in that a lot of what he says, I feel like would come off as extremely manipulative. Today, if you just like literally like, if you like the example, he gives examples for basically everything that he says, and it feels like a lot of what he says would just come off across as like obviously manipulative in a modern context. But yeah, just tone it down. I mean, really, it's just like general guidelines. Like, if you just are nicer to people, if you're not a shitty like asshole, if you don't yell at people, you'll probably get your way more often. But the big thing is that he doesn't factor in artificial intelligence and how computers compel people to treat you a certain way, and they have no say over what things happen. You can't even talk to a person anymore. You just get a computer screen, and it dictates what happens to your life, and the actual employees cannot be persuaded to do anything differently. That's a new book that'll have to be written at some point. How to actually talk to a human being as opposed to a machine that's standing in the way of what you want. And yeah, okay. So now we can actually talk about stuff. Talk about the fine content of for the stream. Let me pull it up. I got some news stuff. I'm working on one monitor right now, which is actually exceedingly difficult. More so than I thought. I think this is right. Oh yeah. This is right. Showing my address bar though. I'd prefer if it did not do that. Can I like truncate that a little bit? Take off. Why is the top different? Oh, I know why. Because I have I'm on a different resolution today. Cool. I like finding out stuff like that as I'm fucking around with it. All right. So this is my boy Joey taking a tumble. Let's take a look at Joey taking a tumble. Here we go. That's the most powerful man in the world on the floor. He can't really walk. He takes a tumble. If you're just listening, Joe Biden is wearing a blue hat that kind of looks like a Trump hat. It's just like a regular trucker hat, but it's blue. And he's wearing it with a suit. And then he falls. He's at some kind of it looks like a naval academy or something. And he can't walk off the stage without taking a tumble. What actually causes him to fall? He's walking. Whoops. Is there anything on the ground there? There's nothing. He trips over his own shoelaces, it looks like. I like how as he falls and the camera pans, I want to say there's like this guy. Look at this guy is smiling. I don't know if he's even aware that Joe Biden has fallen and cannot get up, but they're both smiling like it's the funniest shit ever. So I don't know if that's intentional or unintentional, but that's pretty funny. So there you go. There's the most powerful man in the world, the leader of the American empire, and he can't walk. Now, gamers, I'm going to enter the conspiracy zone. I need your deep, thankful reactions to this content. This is an article from the Telegraph specifically about Ireland, but I want your input. Ireland is looking to cull 200,000 dairy cows to meet its climate targets. So if you don't know, Ireland is particularly famous for its butter. Irish butter is considered like the highest quality butter in Europe. It's what it's known for. So to kill 200,000 moo cows out in Ireland seems a bit preposterous. Now, I have talked on this podcast before about how cows are a particularly strong source of carbon emissions because they fart continuously and they're big animals. However, I think there are other ways to combat this. I want to know why, but this is like one article, by the way. Ireland is just the one that I happen to come across to showcase this, but I've heard this narrative that we need to murder cows to reduce carbon emissions continuously in recent times. And I want to know why you guys think that they want to kill the cows. Am I like a madman conspiracy theorist for thinking that, oh, they literally just want to have people not have meat. They literally just want to make meat and dairy stuff like inaccessible to the average person. And if so, chat, why is it that they want to make meat and dairy? Like, okay, if you're like a WEF, eat the bugs kind of guy, I understand. But why dairy? Do they want like cockroach milk? Is that what they want? Is it so simple? Is it so obvious that they just want you to eat the bugs? You will own nothing. You will not have Irish dairy cream. You will eat the bugs, and you will be happy. Okay, everyone seems in agreement. There's no debating this. It is a conspiracy to get you to eat bugs. Okay, I'm glad that we figured this out. We here have determined this. DeSantis, a while back, had passed a piece of legislation that I think banned any kind of drag event from being showcased to children. And DeSantis apparently has tried to apply this to furry conventions, classifying furry conventions as a type of drag performance, adult entertainment performance. And therefore, children are not permitted to attend any kind of furry convention, which has caused the furry convention in Florida to shut down. Megaplex says, many have raised concerns about recent changes in Florida legislation. After reviewing Florida SB 1438, it has been decided that for legal reasons and protections of our attendees, our venue, and the overall convention, Megaplex 2023 attendees must be 18 years of age at the time of registration pickup. Megaplex has welcomed younger fandom members and their families since inception, and making this change was very difficult. The code of conduct has been updated to reflect this change, and emails are going out to those affected. While this change impacts the 2023 convention, it is unsure if this will be continued for future years. It is our hope that this change is temporary and that we can welcome members of all ages back next year. With this in mind, the public decorum portion of the code of conduct, as well as the standards for programming, attire, and behavior in convention space, will not be changing and will continue to be as enforced as it has in the past. This decision has been a difficult one, but Megaplex has not forgotten about or abandoned our younger family members and is looking for options for events and activities to include all age ranges and their family members. So I don't see the controversy of this at all. The furry fandom is very obviously pornographic. I think you would be hard pressed to find a honest furry who would disagree with the statement that the furry fandom is a sexual one. Furries are typically the biggest coomers on earth. Being a furry porn artist pays extremely well. If you're willing to make weird, fucked up fetish art as an artist or like a sex toy manufacturer, the furry fandom, for whatever reason, because of its autism, has extremely deep pockets, and those people are paid extremely well. And I know that like furry fandom conventions are just like loaded with porn. Like you can buy copies of printed porn and sex toys and shit. To the point where I think YMS has said in the past that furries should be added to the LGBTQIAP plus. So it seems a little bit disingenuous to be like, oh, it's an all ages thing when furries used to have a movement that wanted to tone down the extreme coomer elements. They called themselves the Burned Furs. That is strange. I've never heard of that. The Burned Furs. That is crazy. The Burned Furs were driven out of the community because they called them racist, homophobic, fascist, etc. Same tale. Huh. Fascinating. Yeah, I mean, it is obviously like a sex thing. So I feel like they should just embrace that. I feel like their attendees would have more fun if it was like an adult oriented thing, as opposed to trying to be like, oh, we want like teens here too. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster. So I don't know. Sucks to be them. I mean, I don't feel like this will impact it at all. Like, does the furry fandom need a bunch of teenagers at their convention space? Is that really going to improve the convention? I feel like you should just have like open nudity as a as a rule and serve alcohol and shit. Like, why does it got to be? Why do you have to have teens there? I don't get it. So whatever. Um, Now I don't have the full details about this, and I would be interested in knowing what this actually affects. But a large Minecraft server called Grand Theft Minecraft has explained that Mojang has asked them to get rid of realistic weapons in their Minecraft mod. Apparently, they're very specifically looking to get rid of realistic looking guns or guns that are named after real life counterparts. So, like, if you have a gun that's called, like, you know, the FAMAS or whatever, and it looks like the real life FAMAS, they're interested in doing away with that and are threatening to ban servers that have realistic weapons. Now I'm curious if the ban, what platform this affects. Does it affect like the Java version, the Minecraft Realms shit, or something else? Because I know there's like 8 different versions of Minecraft now. I remember it was a big deal when Microsoft was trying to strengthen its grip over over the Java edition. So I don't Commandos BTFO. Is it not pronounced the FAMAS? Okay, whatever. Fuck you. Maybe in Minecraft. I wonder if that's the reason. I wonder I wonder if like the Department of Justice has contacted Mojang and is just like, we have to talk about the radicalization of the youth on Minecraft. We keep hearing all these reports of people wanting to commit acts of violent terrorism against specific individuals within your servers. We need some action taken to counteract this. And then Mojang's just like, okay, I guess no more guns in servers. If anything looks like actual violence, it has to be removed. But they're like confused. They have no idea why why the government's pissed off. You know what? This was a recent change too. I'm gonna say, because this is right after that fucking retard in Florida got all those basement dwellers arrested. Shit Spigot. What's his name? His name is literally like Shittard or something. His name is like Officer Shigger. Oh, Shitwood. That's it. Okay, so Officer Shitwood gets threatened in Minecraft, and then he escalates this with the Department of Justice, and now they have to they have to do something about the weapons in Minecraft because he got offended. That's probably literally what happened. That's a how ridiculous. I'm okay. I went over the whole post hack last week, but the Daily Dot, in its infinite wisdom, has published this article going over the DMs, and I already went over them, but I just want to read the title of this article because it's pretty funny. Leak from Kiwi Farm's successor reveals offensive usernames disturbing DM content. And I want to put to bed this rumor. Yes, it is true that Post is the successor to the Kiwi Farms. I personally have nominated Graph as the torch bearer, the light bringer for all the wayward users, and Post is 100% the shining light upon a hill for the lost flock. And I want to congratulate Graph on how well he's managed to handle the influx of new youth. And I hope that they don't cause too many problems. I just want to read that. I got an email, by the way, from Razkomnadzor. Razkomnadzor informiert that there was a picture of Lolicon on my website. I actually was expecting this to be another picture of the Ho-Ho Holocaust. The Ho-Ho Holocaust picture that they have previously complained about many times is right here. This picture got us banned in Russia before any other country in the world. And then I read this, I'm expecting it to be the Ho-Ho Holocaust. And instead, it's a weird picture of it's just like, I don't even know, I don't want to describe it. It's just Lolicon. It's not like particularly egregious. It's just like it's some shit you'd see on posts and not bat an eye at. But I dive in and I try to find the context and like, why is this on the site? Like, what could possibly be the context of this image? And it's just this post right here that says, if black men jerk off to white women and white men jerk off to Asian women, then what do Asian men jerk off to? And then the person replied, this, not safe for work. And it's just Lolicon. So I deleted it. I felt it wasn't particularly relevant to the topic, and it was just like a joke. And it's like, well, usually the rule with Lolicon and any porn really on the Kiwi Farms is that it has to be on topic and it has to be relevant to the discussion. So I deleted it, and I sent Roskomnadzor a letter in reply saying, I have deleted the post and the image. And they said, you know, spasiba. And now we're unbanned in Russia. For whatever reason, apparently the central DNS servers have lifted the ban on the kiwifarms.net domain. So really bizarre. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's like, whatever. I'm not particularly I was not particularly eager to get unbanned in Russia. I know that there's a couple of users who have been inconvenienced by the ban. It can be fixed by just changing your DNS settings, I'm pretty sure. But what a nice resolution to that arc. If it had just been a regular user report on the forum, I probably would have deleted it all the same. It's kind of strange. It would be like it's kind of like if the chair of the FCC was browsing Twitter and he sent a official FCC communications notice to Twitter saying, This tweet has the N-word in it, and he is calling me the N-word. And I would like this deleted. And then they delete it, and they're just like, you could have just used the report button on the tweet. You don't have to actually send, certified FCC communications regarding this user calling you the N-word on our platform. That's against our policy in general. So I don't know. I think there's something else in regards to the Roskomnadzor shit. Oh, people reacted to this. No, this is before. This is from August. People saying that I was hosted in Russia. I thought that this was people saying in response to this I was being accused of being hosted in Russia. My bad. I didn't see the dates when I queued this up. So that's one win for the Kiwi farms in a month that's been particularly slow and not very full of wins. However, there is trouble afoot, and I don't know what to think of it. So the Kiwi farms, after we lost Cloudflare as our domain registrar, I had a hard time finding another domain registrar that would allow us to have our domains. And after reaching out to a couple people, we ended up on Epic, which was famous for deplatforming 8chan back in the day. And since then, Rob Monster, who was the CEO at the time, stepped down and was replaced by a guy called Brian Royce. And since the months where we were literally, I don't know what it is, we are just the plague bearer, the bringer of death and pain. We get on Epic, and shortly thereafter, there was like an intense internal dispute between Epic and Rob Monster, because what had happened is Rob Monster allegedly defrauded many large, like people who own many domains for reselling purposes. They had large portfolios of like thousands of domains worth millions of dollars. And somehow Rob Monster allegedly, according to ongoing lawsuits, defrauded these large portfolios of millions of dollars worth of domains. I don't know the details, but he stepped down as CEO and he got replaced by Brian Royce, who's like a hardcore libertarian. He has like a bazooka in his office or something. He somehow acquired an RPG-7 and it just sits in his office like mounted on the wall. And it's like a legal weapon that he somehow has possessed. And the guy is like, we'll be the domain registrar for the Kiwi farms. Don't worry about it. Well, since then, Rob Monster, despite having caused so many problems for Epic, is still involved in the company. He's like, he controls the company, basically. He has a controlling share of Epic, despite being a huge retard. Epic sued, because of the actions of the other directors, basically sued Rob Monster to try and get him to sell the company, which is ridiculous because it's like your property suing you in the case of Rob Monster. And this is ongoing with lawsuits against Epic for the fraud issue that I had talked about before, alleged fraud issue. And now Epic is like insolvent, I want to say, and they're getting bought by a registered agent company, and another guy is becoming CEO. And the guy suing Epic for the fraud issue is trying to get a restraining order preventing the sale, even though the sale would enable him to have the financial resources to actually get compensated for the fraud issue. So he's acting against his own interests. It's like a huge clusterfuck, and people are like really afraid of their domains being lost and all this other shit. Apparently ICANN, which is the regulation company in charge of domain names, is like revoking their accreditation because they're literally not even paying the bills on their domain names anymore. So basically, in short, we moved the kiwifarms.net domain to Epic, and then the company has imploded. So if you know, I've actually contacted 2Cows, which is the domain registrar for 4chan, and I said, I would like to move kiwifarms.net to your company, and they said no. There is no punchline to that. That's literally what happened. So I'm just I've literally decided at this point that I'm fucked, and I'm just gonna roll the bones and hope that Epic recovers. This is my plan. I've charted this out. It's like a roguelite. I have 3 different options here. All of them are particularly bad for me, and I'm saying, you know what? Stay the course. What's the worst that can happen? If maybe, you know what? If I lose kiwifarms.net, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm rebranding. We're no longer going to be the Kiwi Farms. We're going to be something else. We're going to be, what was the thing that that Digiro called us? The Banana Barns or something. We're going to become Banana Barns. I'm going to buy a whole new suite of domain names. The company, the LLC is changing. Everything is changing. And then they're going to have to, the trainees are going to have to explain how this website called iloveisrael.com is actually a infamous neo-Nazi hate site called the Kiwi Farms. No, really, trust me, that's what it is. And they're just gonna have to sort that out. They're gonna have to document this with the string and just try to convince people of what's happening as it goes along. Now, this is my plan. The Mango Ranch, whatever. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. All in, boy. I've got a 3 of clubs and a 4 of diamonds, and I'm all in. Call my bluff. I dare ya, boy. Quickie forums. That's right. So that's the epic shit. Oh, I'm not even showing the right screen. Epic agrees to be sold temporary restraining order. This is from domain name Wire. Kind of similar, but not really. The Egypt Independent claims that a collection of several jurists and archaeologists have demanded financial compensation to the tune of $2 billion from Netflix for distorting the image of Queen Cleopatra and ancient Egyptian civilization. They have done this by submitting it to the UN. The UNESCO is the department of the UN that handles heritage sites and like cultural identity and other shit. So their black tarring of Queen Cleopatra has pissed off actual Egyptians who are a little bit upset that the Greek woman who was a pharaoh many thousands of years ago in Egypt is being depicted as a sub-Saharan African, which is absolutely, positively, 100% not accurate or true to life in any way, shape, or form. And I wish them luck. I hope the UN declares Netflix to be a participating in some sort of genocide and condemns them as strictly as possible. Didn't Cleopatra bring Egypt to ruin? No, I'm not really up to date on my ancient Egyptian history. I can't tell you. What would be the most popular and funny thing to say in response to that? Oh, she's a woman. She fucked it. Yeah, of course, she's a woman. She fucked it up. She probably had sex with a bunch of people, and they ruined the country. Yeah. Then the pyramids fell over and shit. This was funny to me. Someone linked me to this. Because it's in the sphere of technology, and I think that their point was I was supposed to feel bad for them, and I guess in a little way I do, but not particularly. Because what happened is that this website called 1984 Hosting, which is based out of Iceland, is being sued by the Anti-Defamation League. And if you don't know, the Anti-Defamation League hates Iceland. Why? How do you hate Iceland? What is there to hate about a small glacier nation, island nation in the middle of the Atlantic with a population of about 500,000 people? A modern, progressive, liberal democracy that has never, whose most notable part of history was that Hitler wanted to invade it to launch Operation Sea Lion into the UK. So Winston Churchill declared war on Iceland independently and invaded Iceland with the British Navy and took it over to prevent Hitler from invading it and taking it over. That's the most interesting historical fact about Iceland that I have available to me. So a long time ago, there was some discussion in Europe, in particular because of the spread of female genital mutilation, that perhaps the practice of circumcising infant boys should be banned. Because if we're going to ban Arab female genital mutilation, why would we not then ban male genital mutilation? The difference between female genital mutilation and male genital mutilation is that female genital mutilation is an Arab Muslim thing, and circumcision is a Jewish thing. So Germany kicked around the idea of banning it, and then they were called Nazis trying to suppress the Jewish populations again. So they immediately dropped it. Iceland, which has a Jewish population of like, I want to say literally 24 people out of 500,000, wanted to ban.
Thank you for the money. I will spend it on drugs.
Scare the shit out of me. Thank you. So Iceland, that had a population of like 24 Jews, wanted to ban circumcision, and the ADL directly threatened Iceland and said, "We will destroy your country. We will defame you as being a neo-Nazi haven. We will destroy your tourism industry. We will cross you at every single geopolitical avenue that you attempt to cross, and you will be sent to ruin." So to this day, the practice of circumcision for the 24 people who would actually want to practice it in Iceland remains legal to them. And so this shitty little hosting company called 1984 Hosting dares to host something that the Anti-Defamation League does not like, and so it is suing them. And here's the funny thing. You ready? They have in their terms of service this provision. 1984 reserves the full and unconditional right to decide whether to terminate services to the subscriber with or without notice if 1984 considers the material stored by the subscriber to be illegal, unethical, or harmful. This is what's called a like a get out of jail free card. It's basically in every single hosting contract that you'll ever see. They all have the get out of free for any reason or no reason clause to terminate a subscription. However, what I really like is this part. In-house, we refer to this as the Nazi provision, because even if we are a freedom of speech host, we will not have the fruits of our labor used to spread racism, anti-Semitism, instigation of violence, or hatred. We have taken down multiple Nazi sites and jihad sites encouraging violence, terrorist sites, and sites endorsing anti-Semitism. How did that work out for you? You host your little site and say, we're going to be a free speech site and we're going to ban anybody who says things that we don't like. And surely that will earn us respect and clear us from litigation issues. Oh no, you're still being sued by the ADL because of some site that doesn't do any of that, but it says things that they don't like. I hope that living on your knees as cattle, 1984 Hosting, has been worth it. Because it kind of sounds like you got exactly what you fucking deserve. And remember, it will never be enough. Literally never. Because they don't actually care about stopping a rise of fascism or whatever the fuck. They care about controlling you. And that's the news segment. It is the first stream of Pride Month. I actually got a notification on my phone. All-day event. Blaring sirens from Google. All-day event. First day of International LGBTQIAP+ Awareness Month. Thanks, Google. I couldn't tell because when I went online and I went to every single website, the logo was a bright, blaring fucking rainbow. And as if that wasn't obnoxious enough, now there's the progress chevron sticking in like a parasite, hijacking its host, scrambling its brains with little nematode worms, injecting right into its brainstem. What about Juneteenth? So, to kick off Pride Month, the Daily Wire attempted to stream on Twitter What is a Woman for free. And this was blocked. People were unable to share it, to like it, to leave a comment. It was effectively dead in the water, despite the fact that Based Elon was actually the owner of Twitter now. So for whatever reason, Based Elon really thought that this was inappropriate, and then later clarified that they have some sort of, because it's so offensive, apparently because that they're dead naming trannies in it and they're not using the appropriate pronouns. And this is after they put that WEF woman as CEO of X Corp that now owns Twitter. Base Elon has tried to show how truly base he is by personally retweeting it, saying it's a movie they don't want you to see. What is a woman? Watch the explosive documentary starring Matt Walsh blog free on Twitter for 24 hours. He says,
Thank you for the money. I will spend it on drugs.
Thank you very much. Elon says consenting adults should be able to do whatever makes them happy, provided it does not harm others. But a child is not capable of consent, which is why we have laws protecting minors. I'll put that on screen, actually. And then after this, despite the fact that does this now have like a Twitter employee badge? Is that a thing now? He's just going to keep adding badges forever, I guess. But despite this, it wasn't enough. It simply wasn't enough. Ben & Jerry ends paid advertising on Twitter due to proliferation of hate speech. So I actually had learned recently that PBS had completely stopped using Twitter because Elon Musk put a badge on them that said that they were government funded. PBS earns 15% of its entire operating revenue directly from the U.S. federal government as a form of grant. But Elon Musk dared say that they were funded by the government, despite the fact that they are a U.S. company funded by the government. They have packed their bags and they no longer use Twitter. And now Ben & Jerry's has decided to stop advertising on Twitter because, as they say, Ben & Jerry's business model is built around the idea that every decision we make and every dollar we spend in the course of our day-to-day operations is an opportunity to advance our progressive values. When I get around, I'm still working on that pridebeforefall.org site. I might actually be able to show that to you. Let me just try to boot up Hugo real quick, and I may be able to show you what that looks like. But I'm definitely going to use that as like a direct quote of the Ben & Jerry's article. It's like these large companies are not even close to being an operating company at any point. They're literally just propaganda venues that use their operating budget to try and push gender mutilation surgery to children. you know what I mean? It's like they're not even close to just being a business anymore. Like every large company, especially out of the US, is very specifically a progressive like advertising company that has a product that furthers that what their true endeavor is. That's why we made the decision to end all paid advertising on Twitter. We've watched with great concern the development that Twitter following Elon Musk's purchase of the social media platform. Hate speech is up dramatically, while content moderation has become all but non-existent. In addition to the changes on the platform that have led to an increase in hate speech, Musk himself has doubled down on dangerous, anti-democratic lies and white nationalist hate speech. The platform has become threatening and even dangerous space for people from many backgrounds. They emphasize from so many backgrounds, including people who are black, brown, trans, gay, women, people with disabilities, Jewish, Muslim, and the list goes on. This is unconscionable in addition in being plain bad business. That's why we're proud to join our partners in the business, civil, and human rights community in taking a stand against these harmful changes at Twitter. Musk and Twitter's toxicity, and tacit endorsement of hate and violence goes against everything our company stands for. Twitter must act today to end extremist and violent content on the platform. Until then, Ben & Jerry's will spend no money on Twitter and will call all businesses and partners to do the same. For the time being, we will continue to maintain a presence on the platform to connect with our community, but we will visit that presence as needed, pending development in this space. Oh, I hope that... Where are they? They're based out of Vermont, right? Can Vermont fall into the ocean? Can New Hampshire invade Vermont and just blow up everything? I'm never gonna leave. They'll leave. Maybe once they develop their own Twitter. Maybe they'll just be like, they'll make their own Twitter. It'll be a Ben & Jerry's Twitter on the Fediverse. So boycott. Actually, let me see. I tried to boot up Hugo real quick. Maybe I can do this. Oh, it does work. Wonderful. Okay, I'll just show this on screen. Why? Why can't I connect to localhost on Firefox? Okay, never mind. I will not be showing you this. I am gonna put Ben and Jerry's on the boycott list, and additionally, I saw this post and I found it fascinating on white people Twitter, which is like I was looking at Reddit just at a curiosity recently because I had some time to kill, which is why I asked about the book as well. And I was looking at Reddit and I was thinking, and it was just like not signed in. I was not looking at any particular community. I was just going down like the front page, and there are so many posts from white people Twitter, and it is like the most virulently racist thing I've ever seen. Like people can say that things that I've said are racist and things that other people have said are racist, but I have never seen the kind of actual genuine like acidic contempt for people based on their skin color as I see on white people Twitter and other places on Reddit. They just want white people fucking dead. They find that really funny. So I see this post. You're gonna boycott NASCAR now because for whatever reason NASCAR also wants to get its ESG score up so they can make more money, and they have gotten on the train. They have tactically decided to take a small step. They're not using the progress flag. That is deliberate. That is 100% a deliberate choice. They have not put any trans stuff on this. It's only gay stuff, so it's not so offensive to people. Because if it was trans shit, they would 100% boycott it. But the answer to this is yes. In fact, people talk so much about how you can't boycott everything. You can actually. You can boycott everything. And there's a word for that. It's called a depression. When people stop buying shit and they start like hoarding their money or investing their money in like other things to try and retain value. Cause there's something like right now you look at the stock market and you think, oh, the stocks are going up, Greenland go up, everything must be fine. There's a really, really important metric, and I want chat to guess what number I'm talking about, that basically defines the health of the economy way more than the Dow Jones number or anything like that. It's a no, not a specific number. It is a not GDP. It's about money velocity. Ein ha. You're correct. Money velocity. Someone else said consumer spending. But really what makes an economy is that people earn money and then they spend it. And then the company that the product was sold to spends that money. And it's money velocity is basically the entire economy. You want to keep people spending money. You don't want anyone to get too rich. So you don't want money to stagnate. But if everyone starts boycotting, like, I'm not spending my money anymore. I'm going to go without recreation. I'm going to do things that are free. I'm going to pirate shit instead of spending money on movies. Like, when that starts happening in mass, it drops consumer spending. It drops what's called the M2 velocity. And the economy dies literally because that energy of spending is the entire thing. It's an illusion. I kind of want to see it happen. Could it be possible to boycott literally everything? Could half the country of the United States decide, fuck it, no more. I'm going to save literally every penny I can. I'm going to go out of my way to not spend a single dollar on anything that is not necessary or which I am 100% certain is not pause. Local stores, local farmers. And here's a fun fact that I learned recently talking to somebody about how fucked the US is. Did you guys know that Amerimuts can't be butchers? That there's no such thing as an American butchery? Because in order to sell cuts of steak in the United States, you have to be USDA certified. Do you know how you become USDA certified? There are 4 butcheries in the entire country that have USDA certifications. All cows are bought by these 4 companies, and then the USDA there just stamps the cows as they come in, and anybody else trying to sell meat like is someone saying I'm wrong. Okay, explain this to me. Because there's like I heard about the Amish guy that's being sued by the USDA for selling meat. You have a local butcher. Oh, are they actually butchering animals and selling the cuts, or are they accepting half cows? I was here's how I was told, and I want someone in chat to explain where I'm getting this from. That in order to butcher a cow, you have to be in one of these 4 mega butcheries, and if you want to have a cow butchered otherwise, you have to buy half a cow yourself and then take it to a butchery, and then he can cut it up. But that person is not allowed to buy local cows and butcher it himself and put the meat up on for sale, because it has to be USDA certified, and there are 4 places in the US that can take cattle and butcher it. That is incorrect. You're mixing up slaughterhouse and butcher. Explain the difference. So, okay, so if you're in the United States, you can be schizo art. I have disregard the cow in my shit. Stop spamming. I'm trying to read the fucking messages. Cows are certified, not the butchers. Okay, so all cows have to go to the slaughterhouses, and then they're USDA certified, and then actual butchers can buy the meat from those 4 slaughterhouses, and then they can cut them up and serve them as cuts of beef. But you can't raise a cow and then slaughter it yourself and then butcher it and sell the meat. You have to take this cow to the slaughterhouse that is USDA certified, and there's 4 of those. And that's just as bad, though. Like that, you can't actually. Okay, fine. I understand now. Thank you. Well, you could illegally. Okay, I'll look it up then, because I'm curious now. People seem to be contradicting me, but I think I'm right. And I think one of those is owned by China. You can't sell the meat, but you can grind a cow for meat yourself. I do it all the time. Well, that's what I mean, and I think that chat's wrong. I think you guys should look this up. I'm pretty sure that there's a weird bottleneck where the government has forced the meat production in the U.S. through some kind of chokehold, so that they have total control over the supply of food, the supply of beef in the United States. Okay, enough of this topic, though. I'm done. You can be angry at me all you want. My point is, boycott everything and try to buy local. If you can buy local beef, go for it. Destroy the economy by not participating in it. Yeah, let's watch this. Here is a beautiful woman named Emily Young.
Where's Anthony been lately? I'm still here. I'm still at LMG. Right now I'm vacationing. I'm visiting family. But things have been weird for a little while. Let me explain, and you'll have to forgive me for using a teleprompter here because I want to get everything right here. It's gonna be a lot. See, I try not to push my views too hard on social media. Linus might not see it this way, but I feel that fundamentally this platform that I have isn't mine. I didn't earn it. I feel like I owe it almost entirely to my association with Linus Media Group, and that's not something I take lightly. This time is different. This time it is about me, and it will affect Linus Media Group too. I am transgender. My name is Emily. For over 13 years, I've been in the closet. And I've got memories from as early as 25 years ago, as puberty began. The signs were there all along. After trying to ignore it for so long, I finally started taking hormones a little over a year ago. My intent was to hide it for as long as possible, like maybe even forever if I could get away with it. I don't feel ready yet, but I can't hide forever. As a semi-public figure, I don't have the luxury of doing this quietly like so many people hope to do, so here we are. Everyone at Linus Media Group has been incredibly supportive, and the company is behind me 100%. For that, I couldn't be more grateful. It's just amazing. But even so, I've made the decision to step back from hosting videos, at least until we know how this whole thing is going to go. Though I don't know when I'll actually be comfortable again in front of the camera. I just don't want to put a target on LMG or anyone else close to me because, well, it's just become a political firestorm. Like, look at the response to Chris Tyson when they came out. That terrifies me. Like, it's just, I don't intend for anything to change or for anyone to treat me differently, though I know many will, for better or worse. And all I've ever truly wanted was a chance to be myself, and I've worn so many masks during my life that I'm still not sure who that is. Persistent depression and anxiety have been with me for as long as I can remember, with precious little relief through medication and therapy. When I felt it start to come back a couple years ago, it was clear what the common thread was, and I had to finally take action. My worries about what might happen if I did suddenly got outweighed by my worries of what might happen if I did not. My past support for trans people might seem self-serving now, so let me be clear. I fully support anyone and everyone as long as they're true to themselves and aren't harming others. I hope for a world where people don't have to suffer for years or decades even, either not knowing what they're feeling or why, or because they're terrified of what might happen if they open up. I'm at that part of my journey now, and I guess we'll all get to see how it ends for me. I'm going to go back to my vacation now, so I'm going to log out of all my socials until I get back to the office. I'll see you all on the other side.
Is there not something that's just so incredibly like disingenuous and shitty with the way he speaks? Hi, I'm doing this retarded thing. I would be ever so bothered if something were to happen to my boss. But you know how it is. I've considered all possible outcomes, and I know this is what I really need. Now I'm logging off. I don't want to deal with the repercussions of my own actions. Bye for now. It's just like the way he talks, it like makes my skin crawl. Like what a fat, gross retard. Thankfully I have no emotional investment in Linus Tech Tips. And I only know him as a libertarian. Now, but when I first heard this, I heard that he was married and he had mentioned that his wife is being ever so supportive of his transition. So I thought, he's married to a tranny and he's a transbian. And someone has done some digging for me, and it does appear that that is the case. This is, from what I understand, according to this guy, WY4M says supposedly it's also a tranny, but I don't have proof. His wife is Erica, a tranny furry. This is a picture of his pharmaceutical addiction, which is the reason why this is being pushed at all. This is a picture of his fursona Kazoo. This is a picture of him. And wow, what a surprise. He's a big, fat, gross troon, just like the other guy is. Crazy. Isn't that insane how that works out? And they're like basically clones of each other. Why is this picture? Okay, I guess I don't get to show that. Here's the montage. 3 years of this shit and I'm still awful at selfies. I thought HRT was supposed to fix that. Wait, it wasn't? I guess I'll just have to try harder for my next HRT versary, heart. So they marry each other. A benzoclonazepam and methylphenidate Ritalin. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. He takes a mixture of it's all the same shit. They're all addicted to the same thing. They all take some kind of like SSRI to calm down, like a Xanax or some shit. And then because they're all zonked out from the fucking Xanax, they need another medication to help with their attention span activity. So they take Ritalin or some other upper like that. And then they take estrogen and, you know, for their titty sprinkles. And it's just like they are fucking cattle hooked up to this pharmaceutical system and they'll never get off. They are the perfect consumer. It's just crazy. And we support this wholesale and we send children into it from like a very young age now, like 8 years old. We just hook them straight up to this trough of pills. How tragic. And that's your Troon update for today. Nice little bundle. I think I actually had something else. No, I did not. I did call it though. That guy was a Troon. Now, I got some lolcow stuff, some good old fashioned lolcow stuff. This was the final week of the fish tank. As I got here, I got Josie and Letty. There is no surprise whatsoever that the two girls that more people sent for than anybody else are the winners of this fucking program. It's actually so predictable that it's hard to even make fun of it. Like, of course, the people that the viewers wanted to fuck the most win the event. Autistic Engine Woman was like the crowd favorite. She wins $35,000. Letty won $20,000. And from what I was told, they showed no emotions whatsoever while accepting the money. And Sam Hyde cried and called everybody the N-word with the hard R. Really bizarre. There's a video that I just thought of that I didn't think of to queue up, but after the show ended, in one of the cameras, the Jet Neptune guy went upstairs, took off like his weird hockey mask that he always wears when he's on the set, and he just sits down on the bed and stares off to space for like 20 minutes. And I don't know what sort of emotional processing he's going through at that time, but he said that the Kiwi Farms is toxic, and anyone who's a Kiwi farmer is immediately, instantly banned from the fish tank chat as soon as they're identified. So I hope the emotions that he were feeling at that time were all negative and overwhelming him. I briefly showed this on accident. Someone went back to, I think Penny went back to the Tranche. I did a whole video on the Trance. I would tell you to go to Maddie.live and watch that if you would want to, but I cannot do that. He's gone back and taken pictures of it. It is a fucking dump. It is a flat out catastrophe, biohazard. There's no way that this is not against some law to have a house that is this big of a fucking dump left in this condition out in the open. Here are a couple videos that I've not watched, but they're just films of the state of the Tranche.
Why do that? I don't understand. I just don't fucking understand people. Who do things like that. I'm assuming you're videoing?
Yeah, just getting that rolling on up look. You know, I need my evidence after all.
It's a good song. It's like 90s. Like punk. Nice vibe to it. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I hope it clarifies what it's supposed to be. Was this like a shelter for the animals? What the fuck is this? It's like a bunch of plywood and rocks. Were they keeping chickens in here?
Delicious insulation inside the mud pit.
The mud pit.
Beautiful.
Then there's this. This is the car, I think.
So, you know, those might not have been bullet holes after all. I think it was just blunt damage. Oh, probably apart from a bottle. Oh, they just ripped this right off. That's cool. Not sure about the dirt. Oh, hey, my helmet. Glad I got my skateboard out of there. I'm sure that would be gone because it was actually kind of nice. Is that a lunchable? Oh, my shopping bags. I remember sewing those.
Look at the Bernie sticker on the truck. Hell yeah, Bernie Sanders 2016. I hope Hillary Clinton doesn't steal the election and completely shit on his face. I want to remind everybody that this is the aftermath of a genuine, real attempt by a group of people to prove to the world that transgenders can do farming. And so they picked a plot of land in Colorado. They put down 100 alpacas. All of them died. The land is now such a wasteland. It is visible from space because the soil is ruined. And all that's left is trash, garbage, and broken dreams. So I think, and this is a critical analysis. It may be a bit cruel for me to say this. However, given the circumstances, I feel like I'm in the right to say this. I believe that the experiment was a failure and the point was not proven. And the result is inconclusive if transgenders are capable of farming at all. I feel like it did not go as planned. No, this was requested as well. To be fair, when something happens with Ricada, I feel compelled to talk about it. So as to not renege on my duties to the e-drama community. And so here's a video called Do You Know Mandy? Oh, this video is private now. I bookmarked this video called Do You Know Mandy? And I intended to play it. And between then and now, it appears that this clip has been privated. I did some digging because I did a little bit of prep today with the time that I had available. And I found out that there was an explanation for this. Alyssa, who was the owner of the clip, said that Nick asked me to remove it. She was gracious enough to provide a alternative URL for the clip, which I have open. Someone says that you did weak sauce, and she replies saying, I mean, I'm not really in a position to say no, especially with that clip not having any edits. So out of fear of getting a DMCA strike from Ricada, she took it down. I will now go over it and I will provide some transformative commentary. It is 2.5 minutes long. It's pretty rough. I will say this, okay? I did talk to Ricada at some point, and he clarified to me that these are his Friday streams where he gets like drunk with other people, and it's like intentionally like trashy and shit. And supposedly, and I can't attest to this either way, on the other days of the week, he has normal law streams. This is what he says. And I have no reason to doubt him. But I will explain why I am bringing this up and making fun of it, regardless. After I let it play.
Camelot, hey, do you know Mandy?
Yeah.
How
Mandy
can
is
someone not
fu-
know Mandy?
She has nice tits.
Mandy is
That she
so
does.
fucking gorgeous.
Would eat that ass.
Oh my god. Mandy, if I were single, Mandy, you would never be single again. Mandy, if I were not married, girl, I would wreck you. I would save you. I would do whatever on earth. I would do
Also-
whatever on earth to praise you. These weird guys who are like, "Oh, you're too depressed or whatever." No, stop it.
But what if you were on the MDMA and then your PP?
I don't need Camelot. I don't need MDMA from
What if the
Mandy.
PP was tracking
Mandy-
from Mandy?
Mandy is so goddamn hot. Mandy is fucking phenomenally hot. Mandy is so hot. Mandy, if you come to Matsuri, I will not say a goddamn word.
Oh,
I won't say anything. I'm a Christian, trad, whatever. Lady Rackets will tell you that you are fucking fire. I don't need to say a goddamn word.
so
Mandy,
you won't eat her ass if she comes to Montsuri.
let's not go too far, Camelot.
I will.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth because no, Mandy's fantastic. She's cool. She's based. She's hilarious. She's talented. And listen, Mandy is gorgeous. She's a gorgeous woman. And Lady Rackets would fucking fawn over Mandy. Mandy, these dudes that are letting you down, these people that are fucking hurt, like that are harming your life, relationship, whatever, they're garbage. You're a fantastic, wonderful person.
I will interrupt there because I can't contain. I'm about to laugh. I'm trying to hold it. There's. I know that these moments in his streams are very cherry picked out of like the hours and hours of streaming that he does. However, whenever I see one of these clips and he's on one of these 5 panels and everyone's shirtless and they're all drinking and Ricado is obviously drunk and he's doing something embarrassing, there's always the moment where he gets into a diatribe and he goes on and people are like trying to interrupt. Like, okay, he throws out an idea. Everybody's on board at first. They throw in a comment like, okay, yeah, sure, man, he's hot, whatever the fuck. And they go with it. A minute in, there's like 2 people still left on the bit that are providing their commentary. Once you hit a certain point, we're at 2 minutes now out of 2.5 minutes. Nobody else is contributing to this conversation. They've all gotten off the train. They're waiting for him to finish, and it goes on with nobody else saying anything. Just 5 people sitting there in quiet, except for Ricado talking about how much he wants to fuck this woman. And it's so awkward.
And you don't need any of this validation at all. Mandy, you're fantastic. You're great.
start
I love
sighing.
you. You're fucking wonderful. Look, I'm married. I'm a humble, wonderful man. I will never have sex with you or whatever. But plenty of people would, and anyone who wouldn't is fucking retarded.
Okay, so the very last second, he realizes, oh, I should probably have said too much. I think the wife will be upset with me for what I've said. The picture on screen is the picture that Mandy uses. She is probably 18 in that picture. From what I have been told by the Kiwi Farms, which, as we know, is of dubious quality at the best of times, that picture is Mandy as she is today. I have absolutely no way of knowing if that is true. But there you go. So, I understand why he asked for this to be privated. I think that he's embarrassed by it. I think that it pissed off his wife. He said a lot of stuff about other women. I think I'm not even sure if that's true. He's definitely said like lewd things before in regards, but the way that he has gushed over her is probably a bit too much for the wife, and that's why he asked for it to be taken down. I definitely empathize or sympathize even with Lady Rackets in this case. I really think no, it is a very embarrassing clip. I really think he should stop drinking. I know that like his Friday fun streams or whatever are like, you know, his like goof off streams, and he takes it very seriously the other days. But every time I get one of these clips where it's just like off the rails, like really embarrassing and going to cause problems, he's drunk. He needs to dial it back a bit. It's no longer, you know, I'm a very social drinker, and because I do not drink very much, I'm a bit of a lightweight. It's embarrassing to say, but I can take, you know, 2 beers, and I have enough buzz where I feel good. My mood is elevated. I'm more chatty. I'm more social, and I don't have to drink more to get like super drunk. I'm just that's it, because I drink so infrequently that just a little bit of alcohol is enough to make me feel better. And I don't have to actually get properly shit-faced to enjoy an afternoon with some beverages. I really think he needs to cut back a bit. That's what I'm saying. 2 beers is great, my boy. Everyone, people give me shit for that and say, "Oh, you're such a fucking lightweight." It's like, I don't want to be a heavyweight. I don't want to be a Ralph male. I want to have, you know, a liter of vodka that I buy that I can drink, you know, 1 or 2 shots in an afternoon once a week, and have that liter of vodka last, you know, for 3 months. And each time I go to it, it's a nice thing to compliment the movie. I don't want to be a heavyweight. And so far, my sobriety has not done me any harm. So I think that from bro to bro, if he's saying things now that he actually regrets enough that he asks people to take down and not talk about, then perhaps the flaw here is you don't even have to stop drinking, really. If you want to continue to drink excessively, that's your prerogative. Maybe don't stream it if you're doing things that you regret in the process of it. I don't know. He has another clip, by the way, that I'm not going to play because it's too long. But he basically says, I don't want to be known as like a Christian streamer. I don't want to be known as a law streamer. He doesn't want to be known for any of the things that like were fundamental to his inception as a streamer. And I find that very disappointing. Because I think Rekieta was like a beacon, like a little bit of a white pill to people to say like, oh, this guy is like successful. He's funny. He is he's what's it called? Insightful. He's insightful. He's able to take something as boring and dry and mundane as a court proceeding. The if you were to try and conjure something that typifies bored, dreary, miserable, a court filing is probably something that you would use as a trope to say like, oh god, it's like as fun as sitting in court. You can take that and make that entertainment that thousands of people watch. And while doing it, he had 8 white children. He had a white wife that he was a high school sweetheart with, and everyone really, I think, admired this rare thing that just doesn't exist anymore. Nobody gets married to their high school sweetheart and has 6 kids and becomes like a, you know, like that persona. And I think a lot of the reason why his ex fans are now like super hard A-logs is how let down they are that persona has cracked, and it's now like hypersexual, and he's saying things about other women that aren't his wife, especially in public, to like other women who are like naked on, not naked like full bearing, but they're shirtless on stream and shit. And then he's just saying like, you know what, fuck the whole god shit. I'm done being a Christ cuck. I'm now a based bar enjoyer, hedonism 2 enjoyer. It's like but there's a thing. Whenever I see shit like this, I always think of this particularly gruesome Bible verse, which is famous, you know, to everybody because it's one of those things that like everyone has probably heard at least once. It's Matthew 18:9, and if your eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into the fire of hell. So Jesus says, in the actual full length, a man asks, what about all these hoes? there's all these hoes that are scantily clad, and they compel me to be sexually promiscuous outside of God's instruction. And Jesus says, if you cannot look at a woman without being a lustful man pig, you must blind yourself to avoid those inclinations. And that's pretty funny. So, I don't know. I'm reminded of that. If there are certain things that have to be cut out of your life to save the whole of the ship, perhaps now is the time. Anyways, Chris Chen was spotted in public. There he is. He's apparently someone said that they talked to him and got close to him, and he's super stanky. He smells like rotting flesh. He smells like sewage. He's a stanky boy, and he's got bright blue hair nowadays. So he was like entirely gray when he got out, and people first started getting pictures of him, and now he's bright blue. And that's your Chris Chan update for the stream. I think it's been like a full year since I was talking about Chris Chan. I've been very, very reluctant. I'm not usually one to hold a grudge, chat. I'm usually very live and let live, quick to forget. I must admit, I harbor anger and negative sentiments towards Christian Weston Chandler at this point in time, because he has he has indirectly, perhaps unintentionally, implicated me in his motherfucking, and that is frustrating. Animus, that's right. I feel anger towards you. Thanks for letting me know. So I want to play this clip. This is a clip from Rumble, I believe. This is Leafy is here talking, and supposedly this man speaking has a multi-million-dollar contract with Rumble. And I want to know where the fuck my multi-million... Rumble, if you have $1 million, listen here. Look here. I will go Rumble exclusive. Because if you're allowing this man to say this shit, you have no fucking excuse not to pay me to go Rumble exclusive.
These people saying that they're scared and it's so sad. They're making it out like the Holocaust is coming for transgender people. And you know what? I think it should happen. I think there should be a transgender Holocaust. I think we need to round them all up, right, like cattle, into a big, like area, a big farmland area, and then just burn them all, and then we just never talk about them again, We don't need to document this in the history books. Just remove it from history, That was a human L for a bit.
So I don't know if that's taken out of context, but that appears to be his reaction to the Naomi milking thing. I want to compare and contrast, by the way. Naomi says, Teehee, I'm a moo cow. I have a child that I am breastfeeding man milk and estradiol by proxy. Teehee. My reaction was, I read 3 different studies. I discussed the actual nutritional contents of this, what the actual dangers are, how this has an impact on academia, and how the cathedral is promoting this kind of thing and ignoring the negative consequences of it. And that's my too hot for YouTube. I gotta be careful and delete this after the stream ends because I might get banned. Meanwhile, Leafy over there literally calling for a Holocaust against trannies, and he gets paid for it out the ass. Explain how this is fair, chat. Why am I the black sheep of the internet? How come I can't get in on the cheddar? Okay, it's just not fair. Numbers, my numbers are pretty good. How much does Leafy get for viewers on Rumble? I really don't know. Seriously, I've contacted them about their network. They offered like hosting stuff. I've tried to talk to them about Kiwi Farms. I've asked Rakeda to talk to Rumble. I've never heard anything back from that. Like, I am a crybaby. It's not fair. I am a solid entertainer. I pull consistent numbers. I don't get multi-million-dollar contracts to call for violence. What the fuck? What the fuck am I doing? Am I not going hard enough? Significant. I have a chin. Do I have to carve the chin out? Is that the deal? Does like the devil show up in my room and say, "So, I heard you want to be a Rumble streamer. We can do that. I can do that. I can get you all the money. I can get you the house that you need. It's like with the big octopus woman from Ariel. She needs Ariel's voice to make her a human. The devil comes to me and says, "Josh, I need your chin. I can make you a Rumble streamer and I can give you the money so you can buy a house with, but I gotta take the chin with me." So I don't know if I can do that, Ursula. I don't know if I can give you my chin. What the fuck is from Ariel? The Disney movie with the octopus called The Little Mermaid. It's not called Ariel. That's the name of the girl in The Little Mermaid, who's now black and has eyes. They found the one woman on this planet that has eyes further set apart than mine. It's really impressive. Congratulations. Anyways, let me take this off screen. I have to look around a bit. I don't know where exactly my next thing is. I fucked this up. Hold up, let me find this clip because I how did I accomplish this? I definitely had this lined up exactly where I wanted it. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, fine. Okay, excuse me a minute. I have
Thank you for the money. I will spend it on drugs.
thank you very much. I have a clip from Destiny that I actually really want to play, and I feel strongly enough about this that I will delay to try and get this. Destiny. Oh, it's already preloaded on my other browser. Destiny angry.mp4. Okay, open new tab. Go to downloads. Destiny. Oh, it's downloading. Okay, give me a second. See, okay, I don't know. I might have spoiled it by saying that the name of the stream would be Destiny Angie. But Destiny is Angie. While it's downloading, I'll mention that. No, I'll explain after the video plays. It won't make sense otherwise. Okay, Destiny Angie.mp4. Okay. Please cooperate with me. It's not okay. Firefox is not cooperating with me. Okay, fine. Destiny Angie. Okay, there, bam. Okay. Now here comes the content, boys. Get ready.
Destiny calls Leafy is here a clout-hungry loser. Just as a heads up, I will never ever do content with this degenerate fucking retard ever in my life. I shouldn't even be giving him the little bit of attention that he's so fucking hungry for right now. This is one of the most irrelevant Fallen from Grace content creators ever. Like, I would do content with like fucking Rice Gum or whatever before I would ever do anything with this fucking loser. This is such a cope. Leafy gets 1 million+ views on every tweet. And is getting paid millions to stream on Rumble? No, he's not. Not to mention, he's probably still a millionaire off playing the stock market. How does Boblax manage to consistently tweet some of the most retarded fucking things in the world? Man has all the money and attention he'd ever need. He's just fucking with Destiny to piss him off. Leafy is doing like days worth of streams on me and my wife because he's such a fucking hungry clout shark. He is so desperate for my attention. Even the little bit of attention I'm giving right now, he's probably going to do 2 days worth of streams off of. But Boblax is like actually, unfortunately, mentally challenged. Why do you hate him so much? The guy was like, after I didn't want to do any kind of with him initially just because he's like fallen off and I don't care, whatever. And he does like the edgiest shit possible. The guy was on. I've thought about contacting my Rumble dude to get him permabanned from fucking Rumble. Actually, you know what? If he has a contract with Rumble, I might look into those streams and I might actually pull with Chris and see if I can't get him revoked. What I was told, and I don't follow his shit because he's a fucking loser, but I was told was that he was streaming nudes of my wife on fucking Rumble because neither of us would do content with him. That's fucking insane. If he was actually showing that on stream, I don't know. Maybe I will shoot a message and find out. Like, that's fucking wild and disgusting.
I find that this outburst is very interesting. Because number one, he has like this false narrative that his wife's nudes are from a compromised device, and his wife is lying and saying that they are from when she was under the age of 18, so they're child pornography legally. However, the images seem to be from adult websites that she self-published on with other porn stars. So I don't know if what here on its face it looks like Destiny is upset that Leaf. Oh, okay. So give me a second. I have lifted my foot up, and I have kicked the power adapter for my monitor off the wall. My computer is still on, I think. All right, let me get on the ground real quick. Yeah, I plugged my monitor back into the wall. Hold up, give me a second. I'm gonna see if my computer if it comes back. Okay, I'm back. Let me get back in my chair real quick. Okay, everything's back to normal and it's fine. I do computers for a living, by the way. So Destiny wife whore nudes leak, Destiny child pornography lie, Destiny angry. The question is why. So we all know that Destiny's wife is a prostitute, basically. They're in an open relationship. Destiny has continuously defended sex work. He has continuously defended his open marriage. So where comes the offense with Leafy's here showing these images or talking about them? Because theoretically, based on Destiny's moral framework, Destiny's, from what I've seen, he's pretty consistent about how he talks about things. So what's the harm? I really don't get it. However, I heard an alternative theory about why he might be upset about Leafy and is going to go out of his way after everyone defended him from Keffel saying that I took away your primary source of income, leave trans folks alone. After that shit, which got Keffel's on my ass and got the Kiwi Farms kicked off of Cloudflare eventually. After all that, he's gonna be the one saying, "I'm gonna get his fucking contract. I'm gonna get my fucking contract taken down from Romo. I'm gonna talk to my guy. I got a guy inside the company. I'm gonna talk to my guy and see if I can get him banned and get his primary source of income taken away." He's talking about my wife, dude. That ain't cool. I'm the cool fucking guy. I know what cool is and is not, and that's not fucking cool. That's not a cool fucking thing to do. That's not cool. That's something a cool fucking guy like me would do. It's like, I don't get it. Why can't you just be like, fuck, man, I don't give a fuck if people jerk off to my wife. Like, I'm a cool fucking guy. Like, why isn't that his reaction? And here's what I think. I think that the reason why he's offended that Leafy is doing this and he's going to use this as an excuse to try and get him banned is because Leafy said this.
Like area, a big farmland area, and then just burn them all, you know? And then we just never talk about them again, you know?
I don't think he's upset that his wife's nudes are being talked about by Leafy. I think that he's upset that a transphobe is on Rumble, and he's going to defend the honor of the Troons and try to get him banned. I really don't think I don't think he gives a fuck about this wife shit at all. I think it's entirely about the Troons, because there's no she has no dignity. She's in an open relationship. She fucks random guys, and she's an ex-prostitute cam whore. There is no dignity to be defended at all. So it's not like he's upset about that. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be extremely contradictory behavior for him. I think that he just hates Leafy for whatever reason. Probably because Leafy openly declares fatwa on transgenders and wants a second Holocaust specifically for transgenders. And that's why. And he just doesn't want to say that. So yeah. Yeah, that was worth it. I wanted to show you guys that clip. That's all I have to say about this. And there's a little update on my boy, Ethan Ralph. A small update. Here's some fan art, by the way. This fan art was by a member of the forum. who I think this picture was like of a real person at a pride parade, and someone said that kind of looks like Ralph. So they drew Ralph's face and 4 tits onto that person's figure. Now, many months ago, Ethan Ralph threw down the gauntlet, and he told his wife's father, Harry Morris, "I will make you get down on your raggedy knees and beg to see Rosie again before I ever let you do I'm dead serious. You will beg or you won't see shit. Oh, and you will give me my $10,000. So Ralph spat this venomous comment towards his father-in-law, the grandfather of his daughter, Roseanne Ralph. And now, months later, this is from April, not even, this is from 2 months ago. I thought this was 2022 at least. In April, and now Harry Morris shows a picture of Rosie's first Indy 500 chilling with Aunt Waka Flocka, which is a funny name that Ralph gave for May's sister. And there's Rosie. I don't know. This is a pretty low angle picture. Maybe Harry Morris is kneeling and begging as he takes this picture, but it does appear that Ralph failed to keep her away from him for the rest of his life, as he stated initially. Just funny. Just thought you might want to know. As far as Ralph content goes, I think he's trying to stay sober.
Thank you for the money. I will spend it on drugs.
Thank you very much. And because he's like sober on stream, at least, it's like, it sucks ass. It's shit. Nobody talks about it anymore. Nobody like leaves comments about like episode synopsises and shit. He's just being a boring fat fuck talking about the news, talking about Joe Biden, talking about Israel. Just insipid, nauseating, boring content. And since this episode's a little bit shorter, I probably could have padded it out a bit more if I really desired to, if I really wanted to. But I didn't have too much time to prepare for today. Someone has been on his knees begging for me to watch a specific type of video content. I haven't gotten around to it in many moons, but considering the runtime of this episode, I will make a little carve out, and we can take a moment. We can take some 10 minutes to watch the Bogrito from King Cobra JFS. He has apparently cooked some sort of horrific burrito concoction that people have been begging me to watch. And given the situation, I don't see why we can't enjoy some Bogrito. Bit loud. Very loud, actually.
What's up, YouTube? We got 4 big old burrito shells. Alright, so they're layered on top of each other. All 4 layers have a little bit of that bacon grease to stick all 4 in the middle together. And I speckled it with more bacon grease. That cheese we're adding to it is a mixture of mozzarella cheese and crushed up Doritos. Now to get our tortillas ready for folding into burritos, we're gonna throw these in the oven.
That's a bit of a weird thing. Why is it that Doritos, he uses Doritos like a spice? Like how a normal person might use like onion chives? He uses Doritos as like a garnish to improve and enhance the flavor of things. And I'm like, what really is Dorito flavor? Is there like a natural equivalent to Dorito flavor, or like what the fuck is it?
Very briefly for like, just enough to get them nice and pliable. What I did was I took a bunch of nacho cheese Doritos and I layered it with mozzarella cheese both in block and rustic form. And when it got to about here, like right there in the level wise, I threw it in the microwave and I melted that cheese. And then when that cheese came out in a mozzarella cheese puddle, I took a fork and I just crushed up all those nacho cheese Doritos into that mozzarella cheese.
That cheese
stirred it around.
is so unappetizing. It's just like there's something weird that like an American cheese. If you if you go to a store in America and you take like a bag of shredded what they call cheese, it's like dairy byproduct. It's not real cheese. And you take like a paper napkin and you just sprinkle out that cheese onto the paper napkin. The cheese will do this weird thing where it dries out hard as a rock like a fingernail and curls. And the paper towel underneath it will be saturated in fat because that fat is like the only thing keeping that calcium from curling up and becoming like a fingernail type object. And it's very obvious, like when you melt like a cheese like that in a bowl and then you let it dry, it creates this extremely unappetizing, dull looking thing that you see in that bowl that he's mixed with the Doritos.
And let it solidify into a nacho cheese Doritos mozzarella cheese deal. So yeah, we're gonna take the Papa John's pasta that was sent to me the other night. This is what's up? No, the Papa John's pasta has barbecue sauce, black olives, chicken, and pineapples.
So he has week-old Papa John's pasta that he's going to incorporate into the Bogrito with the other ingredients that we've seen so far. That's promising. It's inspirational, really.
Pasta, chicken, stuffed burrito with some goodies. Oh yeah, we're gonna need some of these too. So we'll microwave some of those. Good evening, YouTube. So those burritos are starting.
When I see the brand name Tyson, I remember being in Walmart, like in Florida, and seeing freezers with like giant bags of like chicken nugget stuff. And I just know looking at that chicken probably comes from the most miserable place on earth, like this dank, dark cellar where chickens are kept like 3 to a square foot in a cage with wires like cutting into their feet. And I'm not really like a huge like don't eat meat type of guy because of animal cruelty, but when I see the brand name Tyson, it is just inexorably associated with unfathomable cruelty towards chicken. It's just linked to, it's a ruined name for me. It's just the worst possible thing.
Crisp up on the edge right here a little bit because the ends were dangling off. But that'll give us plenty of room to roll a burrito regardless. We're going to take this Papa John's pasta and we're going to slap that in the middle. I tried a little bit of that Papa John's chicken pasta off camera. It's actually not half bad. The fans sent it to me the other night during that wacky fucking stream that I was doing, where I got all those like deliveries and shit. And I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do with this pasta, YouTube? I'm gonna put it in the middle of a fucking burrito because I can. So there's our Papa
Isn't there a name for when you put pasta in a wrap? Isn't that like an Italian thing? Pretty sure it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
In the middle, just like that. Next thing we're gonna do, those Mike Tyson Anytizers, those boneless honey barbecue wings. Take a couple of those in the middle as well. I've already microwaved these. Anytizers are pretty delicious, YouTube. But we're not done adding it. We're gonna add our cheese. Got some of these to snack on for later. Gonna add some bacon bits, some ranch, some barbecue sauce. Now we're going to add some bacon ranch from Hidden Valley.
Ooh.
Remember that bacon ranch from Hidden Valley?
That's a lot. Ow, God.
They give it a nice creamy texture.
That's like an entire bottle of ranch dressing. I think
this.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. You may disagree with me, chat. I think that adding a whole like an entire bottle of ranch dressing is the worst thing he's done so far. Like the chicken nuggets, like whatever. The pasta is a bit weird, but like old pasta, like it can keep in the fridge for a bit. That's not too bad, I guess. And the shitty American cheese is just a given. Like you do eat that. But the whole bottle of ranch, that's a bit fucked up. That's a bit wrong.
This pasta sauce right here, that works. This pasta sauce is a little spicy, so this will add a little bit of heat.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I'm gonna try to find this picture extremely fast. I had a friend, and I might have told this story before, but I had a friend, and we were hanging out, and he said we were gonna go out to dinner, and he said, let's have Ruby Tuesdays. I heard that they have good salad bar. And I said, okay, that's a good idea. Let's go to Ruby Tuesdays and get a salad bar. So we go to Ruby Tuesdays, and I pile on all sorts of veggies and shit. And he sits down, and I start laughing because I thought it was like a joke. He sat down, and he had, I swear to fucking God, I'm not lying. He had a whole bowl filled with nothing but iceberg lettuce drowned in ranch. The two ingredients of his salad that he pointed out, he suggested going to Ruby Tuesdays to enjoy a nice crisp salad, was a bowl of iceberg lettuce and ranch, and not a single fucking thing to pat it. And I actually started laughing, and I'm thinking like, oh, that's like a joke. Like it's a shame that he's gonna waste food like that as a joke. But then he's like, no, dude, seriously, this is how I like my salads. I just couldn't fucking believe it. I actually, as I've been explaining this, by the way, I've been going through my very, very old emails that I had sent to myself that had an attachment on them. Trying to find the picture that I had taken of this salad, because I actually made him sit there while I took a picture. Oh my God, I found it. Hold up. Okay, hold up. Let me cut out him from this picture. I sent this to myself in 2014. This is genuine, unheard of, unseen before null lore. For those of you who are null storians and you collect every little tidbit of information about me, let me double check this to make sure that it doesn't have anything in it. Oh, you can even see the little crack in my okay. Time to name and shame this salad. It's been 8 years in the works. Here you go. I'm not even, look, I told you it's not a joke. Below is my salad. Above is his salad. I actually thought that was a fucking comedy skit that he was pulling on me to say, let's go have a nice salad. And then he's going to sit down with iceberg lettuce and ranch. Maybe he would enjoy the bogrito. I don't know. Oh, fuck you. My salad's not gay. Don't bully my salad. We're getting off this picture now. You're going to start taking shots at my beautiful salad.
To it. That Kraft slow simmered sweet honey barbecue sauce. Not a sponsor. You know, that chicken's already got a honey barbecue glaze on it. But that'll enhance that flavor nicely. Smoky baconaise sauce. Why not?
He's adding more ranch. He's adding more mayonnaise. Okay.
With that.
I mean,
Nice little wicked combo of sauces there. Beautiful. Some bacon bits. Oh yeah, we got them bacon bits. Bacon bits, motherfucker.
It's like an entire thing of like bacon. just add real bacon. Like if you're gonna add that much bacon, why would you not just like cook bacon?
When you're rolling a burrito, you want to roll it
The sounds of that burrito wrapping are like the bones creaking and like an elderly man trying to lift himself from the couch. It's just like excruciating.
This is why you don't want to over preheat your your tortilla shells, because the edges are really crispy.
A Maramut ASMR. There is no way to eat this.
But that's all right, because we got it. Now, before we add toothpicks to it, we're going to hit it with some butter. Now, this is the secret to making a chimichanga, getting that nice crispy shell on the outside.
That butter is so soft that it's definitely been sitting out in that kitchen at room temperature. And I don't know, I guess butter is all fat. It can't really go bad. But it is soaking in that ambient, atmospheric taste of the King Cobra JFS living biosphere.
I don't know, in love with the chimichanga.
Oh, it's Marge. It's not butter.
This is what I did
Okay.
last time I made a recipe similar to this. I did a fast food chimichanga, which I ate over the course of several days.
Dude, what is it with
It was delicious.
what is it with locale chefs and like margarine over butter? Explain this to me. Margarine tastes like shit. Why the fuck would you eat that?
Just YouTube. So you may have to use like maybe 1 or 2 toothpicks to make this work. So the cheese don't just start spilling out when I try to bake
That's
this.
a good comedy cut to thinking like, wow, that's a lot of Marge. Oh, he's adding more Marge. He's adding more Marge, and then it just cuts, and it's like the entire thing is just covered in margarine.
Motherfucker. And people are like, we want to see another cooking video. And the butter don't have to be smeared on there pretty. Just plop it on there. And coat the entire thing in butter. Or on Country Crock in my case. Yeah.
Country
Because
Crock.
it
Okay,
has
let's look this
pasta
up.
in it. We're just going to hit the top of that with some butter. Butter spread, I mean.
Okay, hold up. Country Crock. A rich, creamy spread that starts with farm-grown ingredients, slow churned in Kansas. What is it? Country Crock plant-based? Oh, I really don't know. Is a food brand spread such as margarine? Okay, it is Marge. Okay. I don't know what the fuck this shit he's sprinkling on is, though.
Butter. Butter spread, I mean. And a little bit of garlic powder.
Oh, garlic powder. A little bit. A little bit.
So I got like 3 to 4 chef's toothpicks. I'm going to stick this side with it. It's ready to go in the oven. What? Barbecue chicken, bacon, pasta, chimichanga. So it's in between the top and the bottom evenly.
Now cook this for 6 hours.
All right,
Like it's
YouTube will be watching
Thanksgiving
this
Day
like
turkey.
a hawk. That's just about chimichanga'd up. I'll let it go for a little bit longer. But now that's like a nice golden brown on top.
Okay, chat. Now that it's almost done, it's time for a poll. We're gonna do it. We're gonna have a democracy moment. You ready? Which would you rather? The Boogs, the Bogrito. Tell me which chat. You have to choose. Suicide's not an option.
Go ahead and pull these damn toothpicks out. Take a look at that sexy motherfucker right there. That's looking delicious. Cheese on top of our burrito. So I put it back in the oven just to get the shell to crisp up a bit more. Get that cheese melted. Get your sexy lover.
The Merrimads participating in democracy have declared that the Bogrito is a preferable alternative to bugs.
Chimichanga, man. I would say it's done. It's crispy. The cheese isn't burnt this time. I got cheese melting down the side of this motherfucker too, dude.
Why is it red?
Yeah, you two, this burrito's done and it's fresh out of the oven, son.
Why does it turn bright red?
So here's part 4. It's done.
Is that the margarine? Does the margarine cook red?
I put the cheese on at the right time. Look at that sexiness.
Oh, he put in more cheese. Okay, he put more cheese on top. Okay.
Here's the back end of that needed to be patched up. Like I said, that's pretty decent. Not too shabby. Look at a piece of that fucking baked on cheese.
Yeah, look at that neck beard. Ew. Oh, oof.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't close his mouth when he chews. I don't know why I expected more. He hasn't eaten it. He let it sit.
Cut that in half and try a bite.
He didn't eat it. Like when it came out the oven, he let it sit overnight on the countertop. Why? Oh my god. That is the dullest knife on the face of the fucking planet. He might as well be cutting that with like a trowel. Eight-day-old pasta now. Okay, let's see the cross section, buddy.
Making a mess all over the floor. And pick that up real quick. That's tasty. Oh, YouTube. Even though it's not exactly fresh, 'cause I made it last night.
The Zogrito.
I don't care. That burrito slaps.
Okay, well, there you heard. The burrito slaps. You know, I bet you it's not. The main thing that I think would be off-putting about eating that, like taking a bite of it, is it has to be like, okay, first of all, it's going to be cold. It's not going to be cold even. It's going to be room temperature, which is weird. It's going to be extremely greasy. It's going to be extremely salty and like mayo-y. And that would be like the overwhelming defining feature of it, I think. Yeah, it's like it would just taste extremely salty, and everything else would be really drowned out. It would just be like it might make you gag. Not because of how it tastes, so much as like the oiliness of it. It would feel like an invasive thing to put in your mouth. Yeah, of course he ate it. I don't know how he stays thin. He must just not eat very much. Like maybe that Bogrito like lasts him all week. You know what I mean? And that's just like how he is. Oh well, that was worth the time. That was fun. That was a nice way to round out 2 hours for the stream. Thank you to the random weirdo with the cat avatar who made me watch that. And with that, time for everybody's favorite part, the super chats. It is time to water the parasocial relationships and have them blossom to beautiful flowers that sustain my endeavors and my lifestyle. I have an extremely special song picked out, of course, for those of you who choose to stay, given the times. But if not, I will see you guys next week. I will not be streaming on Tuesday, probably. If I choose to start streaming on Tuesday, I'll let you know the Friday before. But I will probably start streaming on Tuesday at some point. It may have to wait until after the Kiwi Farms is back on ClearNet and I feel comfortable again. But I've been considering doing the 2 streams a week for a while now. So, all right, let us begin. Anonymous for 5 says Tipster and Keffel has tried to start fake drama They said they spent weeks on this narrative and no one believed them. Went from trying to report the truth to willfully spreading lies with Keffels. Really makes you think. I'm 100% convinced that Tipster is just like a fat eunuch who jerks off to tranny shit and he just wants to get his dick wet with disgusting rotting neo-veg. Really gross guy. Anime Sucks, Cope and Sneed for 5 says, Josh, what do you think of this as a bumper sticker? And I have a very strong idea of what this 4chan image that he's linked me is. And it is indeed the same image that has been sent in before with the exact same message. I will put it on the screen very briefly if I can find it. I don't know why this person is doing this, and I don't know why he's paying me to address this a second time. It is a Inflation Furry who drives a Honda. And it has a bumper sticker that says Anime Sucks, Cope and Sneed. And someone has told me that this person posts this image on the automobile board of 4chan continuously, and he's apparently like a nuisance user that the mods of O can't get rid of. I think it's a great bumper sticker. I think you're doing a great job. Make those Jannies sweep it up. They get paid a very generous salary to do it, so there's no harm, really. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Anonymous for 11 says, hey Josh, I have an Aloha Friday today. Have you ever read Harassment Architecture and or Gothic Violence? Here's a favorite excerpt from the latter. You can narrate, screen share, or whatever you like. It's a one-pager. Then there's a cat box image. This is from Gothic Violence saying, putting death unto death. He says, imagine that I'm a baby about 8 months into development, and for some reason I've gained the ability to hear and understand English. I was listening intently for months and somehow figured it out. And, anyways, I'm listening and my mom is talking to some doctor about the ways to go about a very late-term abortion. It's an entire production, and eventually she and the doctor agree on a date to pull my plug. I have some time to prepare. I start filing all my little fingernails into jagged razors, teeth too, just in case. I get a little bored and start flinging my toenails with them. It's a hard task as everything is teeny tiny. The abortion day finally arrives. My baby heart is racing. I feel the chill those patient rooms always have. Like some kind of machine gun, I start prison shivving the inside of my whore mother. I'm hitting anything I can reach, piercing holes like you wouldn't believe. She's screaming and the doctor has absolutely no idea what's going on. I'm blinded by the light of the holes I've made. I'm hanging halfway out, grunting, kicking, and stabbing, fluid going everywhere. Sounds like someone is drowning me. The doctor tries to pin me, but I cut up his wrists and fingernails. I will not continue to read this because this will probably get me arrested. This is an excerpt from Gothic Violence, putting death unto death. My opinion is that this is an unhinged book and I have no interest in it. Sorry to disappoint. Rice Lover for 5 says, a friend told me that today is International Sex Worker Appreciation Day. Josh, you are my favorite sex worker. Thank you very much. I'm assuming that the 5 is all ones. Crack Pipe Cowboy for 20 says, happy Jurassic June post dinos. I named the bird Ezekiel and Elias since they're both males. Happy Judass the Lazy Man says, there's a lion outside. I shall be slain in the streets. Proverbs 22:13. Here's more boss music. And there's a YouTube video. Oh, this is Orthodox Chance. Okay, I'll let this play in the background. Thank you, my dude. Happy Jurassic June. I'm trying to think of a dinosaur off the top of my head that I really like. I like those ones that spit acid and they ate the fat man in Jurassic Park. That was pretty based. Thank you. Flubby Cheddar for 10 says, autism and Josh together forever. Very true. It's a reference to Justin RPG. I think my first lolcow, because he's like a famous in like the vorophile circles, and for various long-winded contrived reasons I was exposed to that early on. Thank you. A is for Ack for 539 says, why do you believe Dick Masterson is so stubbornly contrarian and defensive of the most god-awful opinions and protective of guests no one likes, like Ralph, Riley, Vito, Digibro, etc.? Also, his Patreon is down 10k from 2020. The most pessimistic answer I can give to that is that Dick Masterson and those people have done things together, and they have like a mutually assured destruction thing going on. The most optimistic thing that I can give is just that he's loyal to a fault. He doesn't have many friends, so he sticks by the friends that he has. I can't tell you what's going on in the man's mind, but he definitely chooses extremely bad alliances. David S. And I'm sure he would say at this point that ever associating me with me was a bad idea to begin with. David S877. Let me turn this in just a little bit more. It might be too loud. Okay. Hopefully it's not too loud. David S877 for $25 says, congratulations on not burning your house down. Also glad you are streaming this the most holy day of the most holy month. Friday is National Donut Day in the United States, and June is Great Outdoors Month. Wow, imagine that does sound pretty comfy in the United States, sitting out on a boat, middle of is it spring or summer? I think it's still spring. Late spring, you're sitting out on a boat, middle of a lake, eating some donuts, drinking some brewskis, enjoying the great outdoors and some donuts. What a winning combination. Thank you very much. Roxanne Wolf for 10 says, bark, bark. I want a hard copy of Dr. Theodore Kaczynski's magnum opus. Recommend me one the glowies haven't circumcised. Thanks. I'm not sure. I imagine you can find those at secondhand stores. That's where I'd recommend. I mean, just buy it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure the version on Amazon is not edited. It's still very explicit in advocating for violent destruction of what he calls the system. You can find copies of it everywhere. So if you do get a hard copy, you can check and compare the length and stuff. Mr. Man for 2154 says, my Euro Pistani pizza day has been ruined and I feel deeply wronged. Thanks, Josh. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Euro Bros, but I got a water with a U, the mutt fields every so often. Thank you. Ace of Speds for 5 says, shout out Boglin Chronicles. That's most definitely what's up. Also, High Bite Size. There you go. Oh, am I writing? I'm reading these in reverse. I have fucked up the order. I feel very bad. I'm sorry. But shout out Boglin Chronicles. Okay, let me fix the order and read these correctly. Eat dirt. Wait, no. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Donation alerts is like broken and like fucking up as I try. Why is it fucking up? I don't know how to continue. Okay. You know what? I'm going to brute force this. Or maybe not. Wow. Okay. So there's an issue with donation alerts where as I attempt to sort the messages newest or oldest first and then switch to a second page, it fucks up and it doesn't actually show me what I'm looking for in the correct order. This is a new issue that I've never seen before and I'm considering how to fix it. Give me a second. I'm thinking. I'm using 100% of my brain power to try and consider my alternatives to doing this. Okay, I got it working. TFD for 5 says, if you start your super chat with bark bark, you are both gay and annoying. Be nice to our furry friends, the ones that recognize that furry fandom is just porn and that teenagers shouldn't be at the fandoms. They got deep pockets. I need to covet that furry shekels, okay? Shaw Ass for 1077 says, I was enjoying listening to Screwdriver and then you showed up. Cheers. I at some point have downloaded the entire Screwdriver discography. There's that one song about the boats that I really enjoy, but I've not listened to the rest of it. They are British. I can only stand so much of them. Thank you. Lol GT PRNKD, like lol got pranked for 5 says, listening to your show while studying for my private pilot's license test. This was my first step in moving away from neathood. Her advice helped me to stop being such a pathetic retard. So thank you. I thought it said fuck you. I don't know what advice I gave you, but if you are progressing in life, I am very happy for you, regardless of if that is a consequence of listening to me or not. Good luck with your test. Fat Gay Riker for 25 says, thanks for all the insanity you go through to keep the site going and educating retards like me on how to learn Tor and shit. Dick lied, Vieto cried. Well, I'm glad that you find me educational. And no worries, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. So that's the real takeaway. Thank you very much. Forgetful Kiwi for 485 says, horrifically socially retarded misanthrope. Sounds like a good book for me. Thanks, Josh. Or just the book for me. Thanks, Josh. It doesn't teach you how to be one of those. It teaches you how not to be one of those. Don't get confused. If you're looking to be more socially retarded, apparently Gothic Violence is the book that you should be reading. Ada Ula for 5 says, when we have Kates, there are no snake can come to us or our homes. Love from Pakistan, baby. I'm very happy to hear that the Kates have protected your home from Snake and I don't know, I'm just thinking of that video where the guy is feeding cats and he's saying nigga cat, and that just means like cat is eating in Arabic or something. Thank you. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, quote, Josh Moon is walking down the street on his way to get pizza when a stranger calls out, hey you, yeah you, come closer. Josh approaches hesitantly. The stranger opens his coat, revealing a large collection of Nintendos. You want a Nintendo? No, I don't. I don't play video games very often. I don't have the time to play any Nintendos, unfortunately. Thank you for the offer, though. Snigger for 5 says, fingers crossed the trannies don't assassinate you, Jew. Sounds like they're trying to start an electrical fire to make it look like an accident. You should never have doxed your car like that. The trannies can try their best to assassinate me, but I am immunized from the consequences of my speech by virtue of not being in the United States. And he's referencing my fucking power issues. That's just me being a retard. Anonymous for 20 says, wow, the first stream I've ever managed to catch live. I normally listen to the VOD the day after while I process blood at work. Happy T&D Friday. Well, I'm glad you get... See, this is why I got to do an Amerimut hour stream so that my homies can listen real time, even when they are Amerimuts. You know, when you say process blood, that concerns me. I hope that you work for the Red Cross or something. Even though the Red Cross is kind of like a shitty organization. They accept blood donations and then they sell it to hospitals to turn a profit. And they don't pay people for blood because they can't. You can't... There's like an ethical issue where you can't pay for blood because that incentivizes people to lie about being HIV positive to donate blood for money. So they take it for free and then they sell it. Kind of shitty. Thank you, though. Anonymous for 485 says, did you know you got doxxed for real this time? And then there's a link to a cat box image. I'm opening this up. Is a picture of a dog. And someone asked, why does this dog look like Joshua Connerman? Okay, fine. I'll put this on. It's cute. I will say this. I don't think the dog looks like me. Maybe I'm coping and sneeding. Oh, I will definitely be told if I am. Assuming I can find it. There it is. However, it does look like the eyes remind me of my avatar dog. You know what I mean? It looks like the Slobbermutt. At least with the eyes. Because it has very like human looking eyes. It's kind of weird. Spagandi for 10 says, all this international desire to kill the cow. I guess our shadowy leaders are secret enjoyers of the fill and wings threads. Oh, because they're trying to kill the cow. I got you. That's clever. They That's what happened to Sons of Kojima after they failed to kill DSP. They're now working for the WEF, trying to get Irish people to kill all their dairy cows. A rich fag for 5 says, but a cheap fag. Oh, because he's saying he's rich, but he's only giving me $5. Well, you know what? That's $5 more than I didn't have before you sent that. So thank you, a rich fag. Appreciate it. Colia Dante for 5 says, dairy is the source of protein. Cheese is the only near competitor to meat in terms of protein and caloric density. If one presumes a conspiracy to enforce the consumption of cheap, demoralizing, weakening food, dairy would also have to be a target. That's true. I think they're trying to get rid of farming in general. There's that shit with the Netherlands too, where they're like trying to get farmers to reduce the number of cows they had, and they just like started seizing land from those farmers to force them to get rid of it. Very, very dark times. We can only hope this will one day pass. These people will fuck off. Maybe China will kill them all. Who knows? Power Chad Overcock for 5 says, hey Josh, think you missed my super chat last week. Just want to say again, TMD, total Megaman death. Megamings get burned at the stake. Anyways, dude, take care, stay active and healthy, and fuck anime. I definitely remember reading a message about total Megaman death. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss it, but just in case, total Megaman death. Thank you very much, and fuck anime. Anonymous for 10 says, hi Josh, thank you for fighting the good fight. The world needs more men like you. Anybody can do what I do. You just have to learn where the line is. You got to play within the rules that exist around you, and you have to learn to say no. When people are dickheads and they threaten you, and you know that you're in the right, tell them to fuck off. Everybody can do it, and it's very fun. Thank you, though. Lunith for 25 says, hey Josh, when are you returning to Blockland? Also, do you remember the retard Lord Tony? He's still been a retard on the forum for the last 15 years and failed to rebrand as a Dead by Daylight streamer. Blockland's on lookout. I do remember Lord Tony. So many years ago, when I was an angsty child, teenager, playing a block building game, there were a collection of characters that everyone knew. They were kind of famous, but everyone hated them. I was one of them. Another one of them was Lord Tony. Lord Tony, I can't remember what shithole he was from, but he was from like a rural shithole state. And I want to say he dressed as like King Cobra. He was like a gothic bad boy. And he was heavily autistic. Everyone hated him. Everybody wished pain and misfortune on him. I don't think he ever did anything of note besides be a fucking faggot on the forum. And it's very funny to hear that he's still around doing the exact same shit and trying to be a streamer. 15 years ago, a little Joshy Moonpie would have been very happy to hear that in 15 years from now, Lord Tony was a fucking loser that just suffers every day. That would have made him very happy. L for 5 says, did you hear about the Air Force AI operated drone that in a simulation kills its operator because he didn't allow it to destroy all the SAMs it found? I did hear about that. It kind of sounded fake and gay to me because it was like the military guys were talking about it like in sci-fi movie terms. I don't know. I hope it's true and China can kill everybody in the military. That'd be pretty based. Colgate Dante for 5 says, do not show porn to children. That's fascist. Thinking emojis. It is true. That's their go-to. Because, I mean, if your children are heteronormative and they carry on your race and culture and identity, that's basically fascism if you think about it. The Feds for 10 says, we need to talk about the radicalization of Zoomers in Minecraft. Literally. Well, what can we do? I don't know. We need to make it so that nobody can commit atrocities or reenact Columbine in Minecraft. Okay, I guess we'll ban guns then. And then Mojang consider that a done deal. And the Feds are happy. And nothing actually changes or it gets better. Snarf O'Bannon for 539 says, did you hear that Rod Smith had Seveshi at the cabana after some tennis with a friend? Happy birthday, people from... What the fuck is this message? Did you hear that Ron Smith had Seveshi at the cabana after some tennis with a friend? Happy birthday, people born 3rd June. Very cool. This makes me feel like it's a trick message and there's like a bomb in my brain. And if I say these exact words, my head explodes. It actually, there's like a sense of dread reading this message that like I'm being tricked into saying something that's going to hurt me. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to describe it. Toast von Niggelstein for 5 says, have you ever had Cane's fried chicken before? If not, get your West African / Italian ass a Kanayak combo. What the fuck is Cane's fried chicken? Okay, let me search it real quick. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers is an American fast food restaurant chain specializing chicken fingers, founded in Baton Rouge, Louisiana by Todd Graves in 1996. My dude, if I ever see a Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, I will stop by and get a Kanayak combo. You have my word, Toast von Niggelstein. Pop Rocks for 5 says, hi Josh, have you listened to Atmosphere Drum and Bass Chapter 4 yet? I recommended it to you a couple streams ago. If not, that's okay. If you have, did you like it? Either way, thanks for the stream, and may your days be filled with bountiful silver. Well, thank you very much. No, I have not. I apologize. I probably should have listened to it. I might have. Wait, is this the Japanese album, right? Because I get a lot of music suggestions that stream, and I listen to the individual songs. I did not listen to the albums though. I will set this aside actually, and I promise you I will listen to it after this stream. Thank you very much though. I apologize for not listening before. Okay. All right, I got it up. Anonymous for 5 says, have you ever done a segment on Danielle Larson before? I do not think so. The name is not familiar. I might have mentioned them. I mean, it's a little bit familiar. I might have mentioned them in passing before, but it really doesn't stick out. If you have something you want me to check out, like a thread, you can post it in the Maddie thread, and I will take a look at it. Especially if it's like time-wise, it's like recent. Crack Pipe Cowboy for 6 says, here's some more since you decided to stream when I'm not working. Cracking open a Yingling and feeling cozy. Didn't even know there was a based beer until you said something. Sleep well, Josh. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you now have a beer option that's not fucking Bud Light. Congratulations. It's a little bit more expensive, if I remember, but than like most beers, but you know, it's good to support an independent brewery as opposed to a conglomerate. I'm really going to focus in my life to try and support as many small industries as I can, because anything that's big, anything that's publicly traded is inherently fucking ruined. And my money is being used to try and kill me. Anonymous for 10 says, opinions on the stupid Null Kitties spam in the Telegram. It's obnoxious. There's a reason why I don't check the Telegram very much, is because there's always spam. I tried to go in there and clear all the fucking garbage out, but they just want to spam. And that's what, like, when I ran the Discord, I had 2 channels. I had one that allowed images and one that did not. And I always participated in the one that did not have images, and we talked and we had good conversation. And then there were always like a handful of fucking retards, drooling, brain damaged morons spamming the same goddamn shit, just like chronically addicted to just sharing videos and the same fucking memes over and over again, so that nobody could ever talk to each other. And that bifurcation of the Discord allowed it to stay in a manageable state until the furry admins got a recorded video of the chat and then acted on that and banned us. And I've not been on Discord since. Let me sit on your face, Josh is my hero for $100. It says, name it kiwi orchards like Wrestle Greer did in his book. No, because number one, I don't want to give Russell Greer any kind of gratification whatsoever. He should fucking just disappear. And I would not want to use the name Kiwi either. But I mean, if it comes down to needing to rebrand and be fucky about it, like I said, I'll do it as long as it's legal. I'll do it, and I'll keep fucking doing it because I have all the time in the world. One day, Liz Fong Jones will be blind, and my site will be back up, and it may take fucking about and changing its name and doing weird shit with LLCs, but I'll do it because I ain't doing nothing wrong, and there's nothing to stop me from continuing to do it. I got cryptocurrency, I got youth. I got the fan zone. I got thousands of people who want to access the site. And if this fucking retard Shroon thinks that he's going to win by just filing complaints or escalating to lawfare, I'm going to drive him into a stress-induced early grave if he wants to play that game. Mazif Fagit on the Big Eye Internet says, for 15 says, Yeshua, please play us another Slur remix. Inshallah, one that offends both minorities of race and sex. Okay, let me see if I can find this really quick. This. I recently figured out that this bass song is actually the H3H3 like theme song. Okay, get ready.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, nigger, fuck you, nigger faggot, fuck you, nigger, fuck you, nigger faggot, I nigger faggot, I nigger faggot, I faggot, fuck you, faggot, I nigger faggot,
This is by Rusty Cage, by the way. Shout out to my boy Rusty Cage. I just want to say I'm gonna give myself a big ups right here. This guy comes to me and says, Josh, for $15, I need a racial slur remix offending people of a specific race and sexual affiliation. And off the top of my head, with no anticipation of this question whatsoever, in 15 seconds flat, I was able to provide this man exactly what he asked for. This is a skill that few people possess. It's one of my greatest strengths. Anonymous for 5 says Dylan Mulvaney before the fame. And I think this is going to be a picture of him just looking like a gay man, like Adam from YMS. Let's see what we got here. Is this a joke? No, this is just like a gay interracial couple at like a parking lot. This isn't actually Dylan Mulvaney, is it? Here, I'll put this up on screen. You guys clarify. Is this Dylan Mulvaney or is this just like a gay couple at a car lot? Because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's just a gay. I got you. Just a meme. Okay. I mean, there are pictures of him, and he's literally just like a gay guy. Let me sit on your face, Josh is my hero for $200. Says, oh my god, I cannot believe Senpai noticed me last stream. My dude, there are very few people in this world who you can throw $500 at and not at least capture their attention for a few minutes at least. To be quite honest with you, the amount of attention that I give these messages is probably less than most people, probably less than they deserve for the amount of money, but I don't know. I don't know how much I want to foster this weird parasocial relationship because you might end up killing me wearing my skin if I let it go on too much. Thank you very much, though. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, Josh Moon looks at Nintendo's and cannot help himself. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a handful of silver coins. Is this enough? It is not, the strange man responds. A Nintendo is priceless. It is my gift to you. Oh, that's nice. That's nice that he doesn't want to take my silver. Imagine having silver and a Nintendo. That's a winning deal right there. such quality, such selflessness from the president of Nintendo. Thank you. Fat Gay Riker for 15 says, keep fighting the good fight, my basketball American. Looking forward to BLMLGBTQmap.net, the most inclusive gossip site on the planet. Maybe it'll be several sites. I want to tip my hand. I have many ideas, but maybe I'll need a specific website for the LGBTQ discussion, one for Pride General, one for the trans inclusive discussion, so on and so forth. Thank you, though. Israeli National for 10 says, why did you ignore the hundreds of people telling you to read Blood Meridian?
Thank you for the money. I will spend it on drugs.
Thank you. I didn't even see Blood Meridian. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what it's about. Someone suggested a book by Ernst Junge, which I did download, but I did not read. Novel by McCarthy. Is this fiction? I was looking for nonfiction. I did not specify that in the message, but I was only looking for nonfiction. 1985 epic historical novel by American author Cormac McCarthy, classified under Western or sometimes the anti-Western genre. Set in the American frontier, the narrative follows a fictional teenager from Tennessee referred to as the Kid, with a bulk of text devoted to his experiences in the Glanton Gang, who massacred indigenous Americans for bounty and sadistic pleasure, and eventually had a nihilistic habit. The role of the antagonist is gradually filled by Judge Holden, who was a person on the forum for a very long time. Okay, look, I'll download it. I don't get to read very often, and I don't seek out fiction because I consider reading a book to be very annoying. It's not something that I enjoy. I have trouble committing to it over a long time. I can sit down and read a book over a couple hours if it's a short book, but if it's a very long book, I have trouble committing to a few hours every so often over a length of time to actually finish it, if that makes sense. And because I don't feel like I ever glean anything from nonfiction unless it's like philosophical in nature. You know what I mean? Like a dystopian novel or The Stranger, which was basically just a summary of the myth of Sisyphus, that kind of stuff. Yes, plebeian. My issue is that I have a hard time forming habits. That's it. I have a very hard time dedicating myself to finish something from start to finish. It is one of my biggest faults. I love to start projects and not finish them. It is something I'm acutely aware of that I do. If I was more able to commit to things long term, I would be a much better person. 5 bar days for 5 says, supposedly Ralph was found in contempt of court, and there is a link to a tweet. Let's see if this is just hearsay or if it has a thing attached to it. Okay, it is a... The court finds respondent guilty of contempt of court, sentences respondent to pay a fine of $1,500, conditionally stays $1,000 of said fine as described above, and directs respondent to pay $500 of said fine to the court by no later than the 3rd of July, 2023. So ordered. So I guess he was found in contempt and he just has to pay... $500, but it says that it conditionally stays $1,000. So they're saying that he has to pay $1,500 to Vickers. I don't think that's correct. I think this guy is lying based off what I've read. It sounds like he owes the court $500, and then if he does something that they've told him not to do, he'll have to pay another $1,000. I don't know if that actually goes to Vickers or if it's just a fine by the court. I'm sure Ralph will just stream for an afternoon and make $500 and then pay this and be just fine. Meanwhile, I'm sure Vickers has spent thousands and thousands of dollars to pursue this. Okay. Such a fucking loser. Slashin' Brentwood for 25 says, Jersh, you need to watch this. A YouTuber completely missed a tranny 41% joke, and it's the funniest thing ever. You know what? That sounds pretty fucking funny. Let's boot this up. I'm excited for this YouTube video for once.
But then, buried among them, I found another worrying follow-up. Quote, "Thanks. I'm not sure how much recovery there is for this sort of thing, honestly. After doing that to myself, I'm probably going to be walking around looking like a freak for the rest of my life, LOL. My doctor said that about 41% of people that go through this surgery don't make it long term. Still not sure what he meant by that, but it doesn't sound good. Makes you wonder if anyone should be doing this at all, or maybe there's another way to go about helping me, but whatever, I'm just following the science." End quote. Why would this user go through the trouble of posting about an injury again to almost nobody if they were faking it? Maybe someone did that. Now I'm more concerned.
Maybe they were making a very obscure reference to a transgender thing, and they were having fun with it, my boy. Nobody even catches this. That's funny. Maybe he's like just deleting any comment that points out what's going on. That's funny. Good stuff. Thank you. Destiny Hero Plasma for $4.95 says, hot. What countries do you think worth visiting this summer? Depends what you want. Do you like the ocean? There's a lot of countries that got the ocean. If you want to go to the ocean, I would suggest someplace cheap, and not like a super touristy shithole. I hope that helps. Good luck. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, the man has refused the silver coins. Josh puts them back in his pocket. The man takes one of the Nintendos from under his coat and hands it to Josh. This is what you need to set everything right. Josh is immediately filled with a righteous energy. I can't wait to figure out what that actually is, though. Thank you. Anonymous for 5 says, I'm playing a trailer trash drug addict in a tabletop RPG that one of my friends is running, and I have almost unconsciously adopted the cadence and vocabulary you are using in your Ethan Ralph impression. Thank you for the inspiration. Well, I'm glad that my Ethan Ralph impression has inspired you to elevate your game of Dungeons and Dragons. I guess it's not Dungeons and Dragons if you're like a drug addict. I don't know. Maybe you are a drug addict in Dungeons and Dragons. Some tabletop RPG. I hope it's elevating the experience of everyone involved, my friend. Riz Bong Loans for 5 says, do you think this year has had more backlash from Pride Month? Yeah, I think people are fucking over it. I don't know why companies are still doing it, but I think everyone is fucking done with it. And I'll be honest with you, I made a joke about like rainbow logos. I think the rainbow logo fad is like on its way out. I actually haven't seen that many. I think that the whole like we're gonna make everything rainbow shit is like done. We can only hope. Matt for 5 says, what is your stance on modern American women and dating? Well, I'm not dating in the US, so I can't really tell you what the market is like. Here's my opinion. In general, I think that a lot of people get a negative opinion on women and prospects because they participate in communities like Poll that are filled with people literally paid to try and demoralize you. And they show you the worst of humanity, and you look at TV, which is the worst of humanity, and you get this negative impression. And then you might go on a dating app like Tinder, and you have to remember that everybody on that dating app is single, or they're in a fucked up open relationship. So you're only seeing people that haven't gotten into a relationship yet, which is going to be, besides, a couple people who are generally just starting they're looking for somebody, they're going to be the people that haven't hooked up. And of course, they're going to be the most fucked up, unattractive, demoralizing people to see. So I consider that kind of, anecdote of encounters to be a bad indication of what people are actually like. I think that if you want to have luck, you should get into, like I said, every time I've ever had an encounter with a woman, it was while I was doing something and not looking for like a date or a hookup or anything. I was doing something that I was interested in, and that was like a real hobby, and I bumped into somebody that way. And I would encourage people to do the same. Like, either become like religious and start going to a church, or get into a hobby that's like a physical activity, or meet people at like a job or something. You have to do something to increase your surface area for exposure. You can't just go online, because the people who date online are gonna be trashy, generally speaking. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, overwhelmed by the power of his Nintendo, Josh shouts out, God fucking damn. Oh, that guy's gonna be pissed off. Oh, he even says that. And somewhere in the world, a random Serbian guy Josh talks about all the time gets angry. Harnessing the Nintendo power, Josh reopens the farms on ClearNet and never goes down again. Hey, if Nintendo wants to keep my site up, I would be all for it. Thank you, Mr. President. Chloe Dante for 15 says, the only thing I know about Anthony Young before today is that I once saw him in this thumbnail, and there is a link on Linus Tech Tips and thought it was a generic meme image. Oh, look, a Down syndrome man making a thinking face. Haha, wow, how funny. Yeah, I mean, he's a very unfortunate looking person. I didn't even mention this. I meant to mention this during the Linus Tech Tip thing. But I really feel like with this guy and the Mr. Beast guy, there's like a trend of sexual arousal by like humiliating your employer and forcing people to deal with you. I really don't even know how to encapsulate this in a term or an expression, but I mean, like, it's like, I feel like him and the Mr. Beast guy are genuinely like aroused and gratified by forcing Linus and all their coworkers who are public facing people who have to have internet presences to do their jobs, to have to like perform gymnastics to continue to keep face, save face, and stay out of drama as they come out. You know what I mean? It really feels like that, like that's part of the game. Like his nonchalant like way of addressing people in his video is so like gross and off-putting. It really feels like he's super enjoying knowing that Linus is going to be eating shit and all their other coworkers are going to be eating shit. And then when he gets back in the office, they're going to have to start treating him like a woman on camera and shit. And it's going to be super awkward. And he just knows that. And he's super hyped about it. And he's so happy just thinking about it. And I don't know what term to apply to this. Maybe somebody funnier than me can give me an idea for it, but passive transgressive. That's pretty funny. It doesn't really sum up the concept of it. It's just it's definitely a thing. I think you're gonna see more of it too. People coming out just to make their coworkers like have to deal with it. The meat lobby for 10 says you cannot slaughter your own locals. You legally have to send them to the Kiwi farms. That is 100% true. I will personally sue you. I will slap a fine on your ass so hard if you try to slaughter your locals. The president of Nintendo for 5 says Kiwi Farms operating unimpeded provides locale content for decades to come. Cows come and go, but each one is eventually redeemed and achieves the good ending. New cows take their place. The cycle repeats itself again and again. That's a very optimistic outtake. The number of people who have like improved their living situation, I can count on one hand, to be honest with you. Most people just don't improve. That's what makes them a locale. Slavo for 5 says, hey Josh, I'm a bald guy living in Poland. I'm super depressed on account of not having hair and being Polish. Wow. Your stream and Red Scare podcast are the only thing stopping me from heroing. Thank you, and please keep it up. You and Dasha are all I have. What the fuck is Dasha? Oh, that must be the Red Scare podcast that he mentioned. Well, that's pretty depressing. You should probably be a little bit more... Oh, if I search Dasha, I actually get an article for this. Daria Dasha Dmitryevna Nekrasova is a Belarusian American actress, filmmaker, and co-host of the Red Scare podcast. Okay. Well, yeah, it's pretty depressive. Hopefully you can get a hobby or something, my boy. You got to distract yourself a bit. P. Cola for 5 says, Anthony might have to change his case, but he can never change his motherboard. Ah, very clever. It's true. His motherboard will always be an XY brand. He'll never have an XX brand motherboard. He'll never... I'm trying to think of like a clever way to extend that analogy, but I can't. You'll always be an Intel motherboard. You'll never be an AMD motherboard, no matter how hard you try. You can put a little AMD sticker on your chassis, but that's not going to change the chipset, my boy. The Renegade is for 50 says, been listening to Maddie for a year now. Hell late to the party, but man, you make my work go by quick. You've given me so many hours of entertainment that I owe you something for. Hit me up for some motherfucking Left 4 Dead sometime. Stay safe, my man. Man, I haven't played Left 4 Dead in like forever. I haven't played any game forever at this point. I'm happy to hear that I help out with the work. Everyone seems to listen to me at work, which seems like a bad idea. But I guess headphones exist these days, so it's not too much of an issue. Thank you very much. Cows are cute for 25 says, thanks for not being cringe. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Such kind words. So rare these days. Dr. John Money for 5 says, have these people considered losing weight first and seeing if that stopped making them feel bad before trying HRT? No. Why would they ever attempt self-improvement in any way, shape, or form when they can simply take a combination of mentally, psychologically altering stimulants and hormones and hope for the best? That's easy. Everything else seems like a lot of work. The Renegades for 5 says, P.S. What is the furry shit at the end of making a donation on donation alerts? You shitting me. I don't co-sign. That's just the logo for a donation alerts. Don't take it too seriously. They're not like a furry site. In the rest of the world, anthropomorphic animals are just like cute mascots. They're not like sexual beings. There was a time where Tony the Tiger wasn't a porn star, you know. Winston Fujimori says, here's an article that answers your slaughterhouse question. Scroll down to policy solutions for a lopsided system. Now, please mod me. This is a Civil Link Eats website. And policy. 4 firms control more than 80% of the beef processing market, for instance, in federal laws requiring large animals to be processed at a slaughterhouse under the supervision of a USDA inspector have left many small meat producers in a bind. There are approximately 800 federally inspected livestock slaughtering houses in the U.S. and about 1,900 state-inspected or custom facilities. That's down from about 10,000 meat processing plants in 1967 when the law mandating USDA inspection was passed. Yeah, I mean, everything, like anything that's strictly regulated like that gets smaller and smaller over time. And one of those companies is Chinese, and it's a fucking nightmare. And I don't even understand the point. Is it like because of The Jungle, that novel about slaughterhouses, that now every slaughterhouse have to have like a 24/7 supervising member of the government on board to make sure that no cows are being like ground up with human meat? Like, what is the point? Just let people eat food. Why does the process of taking a natural thing and preparing it into a meal, as people have done for thousands of years, now such a convoluted process that requires protesting to even retain his right? Very depressing. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, at the end of his long and successful career, Josh hands control of the Kiwi farms to the eldest of his 10 children and spends the rest of his days collecting rare silver coins with his loving wife. At 100, he is promoted to operator in heaven. Oh, that's very sweet. What a nice story. That's you know what, I'm gonna say that's probably how it's gonna go. That sounds about right to me, my boy. Thank you very much. Koyadate Professor says the tranche tarp structure was their attempt to build a second barn. They bulldozed a hole in the ground and stretched a tarp over it. Fred's speculation is that's where the mass grave was, and they just chucked the dirt back in. That's pretty depressing. Like even their first barn wasn't sufficient. They didn't have like, I'm pretty sure they didn't have heaters in there to keep them warm during the cold months where they were still shaving them. Fucking tragedy. Coley Dante for 5 says 5 naked lawyers in the Google Hangout at Requeta Ranch. Trying to, I don't want. Ram Ranch is like such a viscerally gross song that I feel difficulty trying to like make a joke out of singing it. Is what kind of, okay, here's the question. What kind of truck is Requeta pulling up in? And who's getting sucked and fucked in the Requeta Ranch? Continue this allegory in chat for me. President Nintendo for 5 says, I was listening to one of your older streams and you wished you had a more nice comment, so I hope you enjoyed this nice story. I really enjoy your weekly streams and listen to them all the time. My body is ready. Love it, Reggie. It's true. I do enjoy the nice comments. Though that I wasn't expecting a short story of wishful thinking at any point. It's actually a first, I think. Glad you like the streams though. Thank you very much. Sploogies the balding drug. Sploogies the blugging. Sploogies the balding drug whore for 20 says, hello, I am Welsh and retarded. I love drugs and being a slut. But if you want to know what I love more than being that wolf tone, I really love you, baby. I'm no better than you, even though I think I am. This is a deep cut in joke regarding Wolf Tone, who is currently facing litigation for throwing piss at people, and he has an entourage of forum members who enjoy fucking with him to the point where general chat became unusable until I told Wolftone to stop posting there. And now they just talk to each other in a DM chain constantly. It's like the most active thread on the entire site. It's in private, and it's just a bunch of A-logs fucking with Wolftone, including Sploogies, who is Welsh, and speaks Welsh, which is tragic. Thank you. Texas T for 20 says, late and gay, good stream as usual, and gotta ask, what's your bug out plan for Serbia, seeing as the second Kosovo war is brewing with them to be heading to a repeat of 08? So here's some pocket change for the ticket. I mean, there's lots of places to go nearby. The thing is, I like move every 6 months because my visa expires. I literally have been living on a tourist visa for like 8 years now. My visa expires and I go to a different country and I come back and I surf around in the area, and I've been doing that for a while. So if things get bad in Serbia, and I don't feel like they are, there was like some weird issue in Pristina and Kosovo where NATO troops were like hit with Molotovs, and so I don't know. If there's a war, I'll just leave. I'm an American. I don't have any obligation to stay. Let me sit on your face, Josh, is my hero for a measly $10. Says, some chick was asking Nick to sign her tits. I think it might have been Mandy. I feel bad for lady rackets. Yeah. She acts cool with it, but I have a feeling that women who act cool with that kind of stuff aren't really that cool with it. And it's impossible for me to say for any kind of certainty that she is or is not cool with it. And I suppose that's not really my place to speculate, but that is how I feel. And I do believe that Requeta should stop drinking. I think that it's not doing him any favors at this point.
Thank you for the money. I will spend it on drugs.
Thank you. Anonymous for 5 says, you should weaponize the KF brand more often. Endorse things you don't like so they catch flack and have to deal with the fallout. Make do with what God gave you, Josh. I have considered that. The main issue that I have is I don't want to direct people from the forum to support a brand that I don't actually support. And even if I make it very obvious that I'm doing something sarcastic, a lot of people don't catch on. And it's not even like their fault really for being dumb or whatever. It's just that they're not paying attention. They don't know the full story of everything going on. And they just they don't get it. They don't get the joke. And it's just not worth it. Not worth the drama. I really just want to keep the site online. I'm not trying to like fuck with people. I just want people to have a space to talk. The Supreme Sodomite for 10 says, this Victory Celebration Month, we are rolling out an update to our acronym. Over time, it had become too long and confusing. From now on, just call them Gay or Gay Plus Community, as we believe this covers in part or in whole what the other letters meant. I mean, in practicality, that's true, but they all throw a fit that they want specific representation. So the acronym has to be 40 characters long at this point. And in truth, at this point, the gays don't want to be lumped in with the trannies anymore. So they wouldn't be happy with that either. That's the issue with a minority movement like this. That's going to continue to fragment forever. Ton 1001 for 5 says, call Leafy. I have been told that Leafy is interested in talking to me. I'm not sure when or if we'll talk to each other. It really depends on what the conversation is and what is to be achieved. I don't just reach out to people for casual conversation. I usually have something I want to say. Let me sit on your face, Josh, as my hair for 10 says, take Mandy off screen, please, which I did. It took me a second to remember that the images were on screen, but eventually I did get rid of her. Let me sit on your face, Josh, as my hair for $100 says, if the devil takes one of your chins, you'll still have one left. So I think you should go for it. I mean, if the devil wants to give me a liposuction, that's just a win-win. He might take my soul in exchange for that, though. Sneedaho for 5 says, that furry bumper sticker Civic that keeps getting posted on the super chats is from some fur fag on O, and now people think it's your car. Well, if the trannies are looking for a Honda Civic with furry stickers on it, I'm safe. That's all that matters. My dad is a paranoid boomer for 5 says, Josh, please explain to my boomer father that the idea that his employer, Microsoft, is monitoring my network activity and posts is fucking retarded. I keep telling him that if it's not on his work laptop, it's fine. Also, I'm the network admin and I use a VPN. Microsoft monitoring your network activities. Your boomer dad is a little bit off. Microsoft has no interest in monitoring your network activity. Who does is the NSA. And in the big internet backbone companies, let me look this up actually so he has some reading material. Verizon NSA room. There's a room number for it. Tell him to Google room 641A. This was a closet in a facility operated by AT&T that the National Security Administration set up a packet monitoring station and basically spied on all American telecommunications at this facility. And I'm sure that they do this continuously everywhere. So it's not Microsoft, it's the NSA. Kerplunk for 10 says, just gotta say your streams get me through the agonizing work week. It's a good background noise to TF2. Remember to be wary of alphabet people, the chosen people, and the moon crickets. They keep trekking on. If you stop streaming, I am taking my own life. Well, thank you for the motivation. I appreciate it. I don't know. I don't know how to reply to that. It's a bit stressful. Put me on the spot. I'm glad that I keep you going through your work week. So if your job sucks that much, a lot of places are supposedly hiring. Maybe you can look into getting something less shitty. Now's the time to move up, my boy. Ganka for $100 says, fuck YouTube for not letting me know that your stream started and it took Odyssey an hour to send me the notification. Please do not buy a truck. Please go for a house or land. The market is going to crash in a few years. Or just spend this on pizza. I don't care. I mean, if the housing market's going to crash, why would I buy a house? If I buy a land, I need a truck. Because otherwise, how the fuck do you take care of your property if you don't have a truck? I don't know. I'll figure something out, I promise. I will progress in life. Jim G&A for 5 says, you talk about how Nick was a white pill for Christians and cover him weekly, yet you shaft true and honest Christian streamer like Baked Alaska. It's that attitude that allows Judas his blasphemous life while Yoba must defend himself with Kino stream dollars. Baked Alaska is not irredeemable, I would say. I don't know enough about him to make a judgment call like that, but he has a lot of work to do. I consider him very stupid, and a bit embarrassing. So I hope I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and kick him while he's down, but he has a lot of work to do to rehabilitate his image. I'll put it like that. Ace of Speds for 5 says, shout out Boglin Chronicles. That's most definitely what's up. Also, hi Bite Size. Heard that before, but I'll do it again. Shout out to Boglin Chronicles and Bite Size. Eat Dirt, Drink Bleach for 5 says, I can't be the only one to notice that all this troon shit is perpetuated by M to Fs. Sexual bathroom assaults, misgendering freakouts, lesbian dating app invasion. Why is that? Where is the F to M videos and articles about them? From what I remember, female to males are actually the majority of transsexuals, but they get no media attention because the reason why a man becomes a woman is to impose himself on women and to become a nuisance and a special snowflake that society has to treat very differently. A woman becomes a man to disappear, to stop being viewed as a piece of meat that men want to fuck and probably have abused at that point in their life already. And they just want to blend in and not be given special attention by just looking like a man. And that is why, even though I believe women are the majority of transsexuals now, especially in young ages, they receive a sliver of the attention. It's because of what motivates someone to transition. Annan for $75 says, I got a gift card rebate on a gun I was going to buy anyway, so you can have it. Oh, very nice. Thank you very much. I hope you got your gun then. Oh, you got a rebate on a gun you're going to buy anyways. You can have it. Well, I hope you get your gun, my boy. Kind of interested to know which gun. Just kind of leave that information out. Let me sit on your face, Josh, as my hero for 10 says, Cobra is the new K's cooking. Yes, that's true. Better quality content, longer form, no DMCA. It's the good stuff. Eat Dirt, Drink Bleach for 5 says, you're on death row. It's the day of your execution. What do you like? What do you like? Want to prepare as your last meal? Cobra, K, or Jack? Oh, is it from those three? Cobra, because I want him to prepare me a burrito the size of a Thanksgiving Day turkey, full of the nastiest shit possible, so that when they electrocute me and I shit myself, post-mortem, the execution chamber is covered in the most vile, noxious shit imaginable, and the Jannies have to sweep it up. My last act of spiteful vengeance against a abusive system that has treated me poorly. Red Eyes Black Dragon for 5 says, so who would you rather cook for you, King Cobra or K? King Cobra, I guess. Or K. I mean, whatever. They both suck. I don't know which one's less likely to kill me. Red Cap for 5 says, 100% true that Nick was a white pill, and having met him and his wife at a convention, it's 100% more sad than he's doing weird shit. His wife was pleasant, so part of me thinks she's just going along with it because streaming has been lucrative. I mean, they're married and have 8 kids. Even if the streaming isn't lucrative, she doesn't really have an option. If he wasn't successful and he had 8 kids with her, then she still doesn't have really a choice in how to carry herself. So that's why I consider it, even if she tells him that she's okay with it, I feel that she's not, and he's just going to continually push it. Winston Fujimori says, shout out to the Megamans. They're some of the nicest people on the KF Metric server. Josh, you should join the Megaman cult and watch anime with us. Absolutely not. Sorry to say. Unlucky Peach for 5 says, hey Josh, it's your favorite burn victim and professional baker, so typically the reason why people prefer Marge to butter is the fat content. It's also cheaper and covered by EBT. Marge is covered by EBT, but butter is not. EBT really is designed to just make fucking zombies, isn't it? You can't buy a rotisserie chicken at Walmart with EBT, but you can buy Doritos, Coca-Cola, and fucking margarine. What a disaster the country is. Thanks for the money. I'm going to spend it on drugs for $20. Says absolutely nothing. What a champion. Thank you. Karyuma for 5 says, do you know the dinosaur with 500 teeth? I don't. Sorry to say. Maybe a shark. Romeo for 5 says, "Hey Josh, great stream. I pinged you a couple times on the farms that you did not post last week's stream on Odyssey. So if you're free, please post the stream. In addition, how's the progress on the Pride for Fall site going?" I've been busy this week, but I'll try to get it up. I have it on a GitHub or a GitGood, and I'm gonna try to just get it up as soon as possible, and then pull in contributions and just try to manage it very lightly. I will get videos up on Odyssey eventually. Anonymous for 5 says, "Do you think someone who used to be a whore should be morally condemned in perpetuity, or if they stop being a whore, can they be respected?" I don't know. I don't even really want to think about it. I guess it depends. Like I would never want to date a whore after the fact, even if she's like against it now. It's something that's best just avoided as a whole in general, both as a woman and as a man. Cole for 5 says, "Trump in the most recent rally said he wants to end birthright citizenship. Even if he doesn't accomplish it, I don't see how voting for him doesn't either accelerate the collapse or move the Overton window right. What would be enough for you?" I would vote for Trump if he ever said that Israel should burn to the fucking ground. Every single time he opens his mouth, kosher dick is inserted into it, and I honestly can't vote for him. I just think that he's a blood-sucking parasite, and he betrayed his biggest supporters, and everything that he does is geared towards ensuring his family survives and is well respected and loved in Israel, and the U.S. can burn down to the fucking ground for all he cares. Anonymous for 5 says, "The blood was not for the Red Cross, just for indium white blood cell tagging. Don't worry." Well, I'm glad that you're not a part of a blood-sucking organization. Thank you. Koya Dante for 5 says, "On the military drone going rogue story, I too was dubious the second I heard it. Recent correction to the original article." And there's a Twitter link. I accidentally just closed out a donation alert and lost my space because I opened this fucking link. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't believe the story. I think that they're making it sound like, oh, we got AI that's like so fucking cool. It's like making autonomous decisions like a sci-fi movie because we're like America, and our like AI is so much better than that shitty chinky AI, man. I just think that it's full of shit. I don't really care. I hope the U.S. military fucking collapses. Dosismos for 5 says, "As soon as I spoke in this, I fell asleep, and I saw a sacrificer stand before me, high up on the altar, which was in the shape of the bull. There were 15 steps leading up to the altar, and the priest stood there, and I heard a voice from below saying to me." Rasmus for 5 says, I'm just going to read all of them without doing the thing. "I performed the act of descending the 15 steps into darkness and ascending the steps to the light. And he who renews me is the sacrificer by casting away the grossness of the body, and by compelling necessity, I am sanctified as a priest, and now stand in the perfection as a spirit. And hearing the voice of him who stood up on the altar, I inquired who he was. And he answered me in a fine voice, saying, I am the Ion, the priest of the inner sanctuaries, and I said myself to, and now stand in perfection as a spirit. And on hearing the voice of him who stood upon the altar, I inquired of him who he was, and he answered to me in a fine voice, saying," oh, he said that twice, "I submit myself to an unendurable torment, for there came one in haste at early morning who overpowered me and pierced me through with his sword, and dismembered me in accordance with the rule of harmony, and he drew off the skin of my head with a sword, which he wielded fire of the art, till I perceived by the transformation of the body that I had become spirit. And that is my unendurable torment. And even as he spoke thus, and I held him by force to converse with me, his eyes became as blood." This has absolutely nothing to do with locales. Thank you very much, Zosimos. I don't know what the fuck this is from, and I'm honestly not even curious at all. It sounds pretty edgy and stupid. I'll be honest with you. Let me sit on your face, Josh. Is my hero for $100. Says, "I hadn't thought of the skin suit option before." Well, you know what? I think you're going to come to that conclusion one day by yourself. And there's one more goddamn message from this guy. The same those reply says, "Fire of the art." I already read this. He sent the last two messages twice. I've completely scammed this man for his money, but I don't know what to say. I have no interest in what is being put before me, and I feel bad, but at the same time, I gotta get the fuck through these. I increased the fucking super chat thing to 5, and I'm still getting like 1,000 messages that are just like weird shit from probably from fucking Cthulhu books or something. I don't get it. I'm sorry. Nicholas Wage Cage for 5 says Raising Cane's is nothing special. If you really want to go there, and I don't recommend the tea. And then he links a YouTube fucking video. I guess about a chicken place. Oh, they're employees at the chicken place, and they're like TikTok videos where they're fucking around with people's food. That's what it is. He doesn't recommend the tea because they're like they're being dickheads.
Fully submerged. I thought it was disgusting. The female employee and another girl are heard laughing before she pours the tea into a dispenser. The caption on the video reading, "Don't drink tea from Cane's." Quote, "We don't care no more."
Okay. I promise you, if I ever go to Cane's, I will not drink the tea. But I will get the Canis combo. Well, let me sit on your face, rushes my hero for says. Also, by Senpai, I meant the OG let me sit on your face, Josh. Okay, you can skin him and wear him as a skin suit. I'm okay with that. Anonymous for 5 says, can I see you? I can see you driving a Mitsubishi Evo 4. And there is a link to an image. There's a picture of me photoshopped sitting on top of a Mitsubishi Evo 4. I will display this on screen for the benefit of my chat. Thank you. I don't know why I'm so happy on that sinking car, but it's probably pretty accurate. Free Church Chris 96 for 5 says, Josh, you ruined my YouTube algorithm. I watched a lot of old Maddie episodes while working on sermons, and now my suggested videos are fat ladies, furries, autists, and someone named Elaine. Well, I'm very sorry for ruining your algorithm. Actually, I've improved it. Fuck you. That's what I've given you content. What more do you want? Nicholas Wage Cage for 5 says, the U.S. debt has been suspended until 2025. With the country headed towards the shitter at high speed, I find myself at an impasse. Do I buy a cheap piece of land and hold out in a bunker or abandon ship and get out? If so, where would you go? Buy a cheap piece of land and hold out. Don't be a cuck. One day I'll return to the promised land with a rifle in hand, and I will liberate my people. Spider-Man spoilers for 5 says, the pregnant Spider-Woman is a villain. There's an anarchist British and Indian Spider-Man that are fine. The movie is a two-parter and ends with a to be continued. There are a lot of positive messages sprinkled within. Okay. I have no interest in watching Cape shit. I apologize. Aiden Paladin's Yamaka for 5 says, Sneed. Thank you, Aiden Paladin's Yamaka. I thought only men wear yarmulkes. I don't know if that's the intention of the message, but food for thought. Next for 5 says, or next for 10 actually, says, hey Josh, are there any person streams you consider revisiting? Chantal. Enough has happened with Chantal to do a part 2. Twinkle Tart for $100 says, hey Josh, I missed the stream. Do you have any comments on the drama about Graphene OS that Louis Rossman did a video on? No, except I'm glad the schizophrenic stepped down. It seems that Lewis, put the guy in the place. I'm considering getting a new phone. I really don't want to give Google money. I might buy a secondhand phone to not stimulate the economy. And then I would put Graphene OS on it. Thank you very much, though. Anonymous for 5 says, first time I've ever caught one live. Once you get all the site issues worked out, do you have any ideas for another silver coin run? What's your short list for new face sides? The silver coin shit was such a pain in the ass. I'm not really looking forward to doing that. The next merch run will be apparel. It'll be t-shirts and hoodies and stuff again. Nicholas Wage Cage for 10 says that LTT troglodyte always creeped me out, and now I know why. Thanks for keeping it real, my Neezy. Also, don't let them forget they will never be a real woman. It's true. They will never be a real woman. They'll never be AMD. Even with the sticker. Even if Linus has to say it or he gets shot in the head by his advertisers. Failure Personified for 10 says, love them podcast, Josh. Keep up the great job. Also buy Rusty's patches and stickers for real bros. I didn't even know Rusty sold merchandise. I'm surprised he can have a payment processor. Thank you, though. Anonymous Professor says, oh, the patch is gone forever. I swear you said there were some leftovers, but I've been listening to old streams. I still have to send out replacements. There's this one guy in particular who's like really pissed off that he doesn't have his patches. I've been busy the last week. I have to go back and find these emails and fucking send him his patches before he shoots me. I have a couple left over, but I'm going to hold on to them for a bit. Anonymous for 19 says YouTube link. Okay. Let's see it.
Doing it right now. I'm doing it right fucking now. I don't know what this guy's obsession is with this.
I want you to sing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday by Boys II Men for Kobe. If you don't, you're very disrespectful.
What
Show some
dinosaurs
heart.
have 5? Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh my fucking god. Are you fucking serious, dude?
Nothing cracks me up more than the N-word. And the only other thing that cracks me up almost as much as the N-word are streamers having panic attacks over the N-word. That's the only thing. And then, of course, those imply the other thing, so it's twice as funny. That's the best content on the internet. Thank you very much. Russell T. Shackleford for 5 says, reading Tragedy and Hope, History of the World in Our Time. Also, folks should turn into hard bastard news streams Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on YouTube and Rumble, like a streaming articles and news. Also, help a brother, a soft gentleman, with the upcoming book, Things a Bigot Would Say. That is like a quadruple advertisement. Tragedy and Hope, History of the World of Our Time, hard bastard on Rumble, and soft gentleman with the book, Things a Bigot Would Say. There you go. There's your plug, my boy. Okay, let's check the Odyssey real quick. I'm almost done. I really got to figure out what to do with the super chats. Cause I honestly, I do feel bad that they take up so much time with the stream. Okay. A and N did nothing wrong for 10 says, as a Euro, I'm enjoying the late stream. Also, Ireland is becoming one of the most paused nations in the world because of wealthy expats funding AstroTurf and NGOs in lieu of paying taxes, e.g. Bono. Irish libel laws are the worst in the world, and no Irish media outlet can report on it. Yeah, Ireland's pretty fucked, and it's pretty like cruel and sadistic how Ireland was like a subject nation of the United Kingdom for hundreds of years. They finally become independent, and they immediately subjugate themselves to the EU and Germany and the UN. It's really just fucking sad and pathetic. And even their nationalist party is like a tranny dick suckers. Rickenbacker 15 says, fuck fag month. June is the workplace safety month. Remember to wear your safety glasses, stay hydrated, and practice proper lifting techniques. It's true. When you lift heavy stuff, make sure you always bend your knees and instead of bending your back. You don't want to throw your back out. It hurts like shit. Good reminder, my boy. Eugene Greenbeard for 5 says, I humbly suggest you name it pridefall.org, both minimalist and a play on prideful while retaining the reference to the old adage. I own that domain and it will be a redirect. However, I will not use that as the primary name because 4chan already beat you to it. And operation, if you search pridefall, you get all this weird shit about like a 4chan operation that was like a harassment campaign on Twitter or some shit. And I don't want that to be the result. I would agree with you though that it would be a better name. It's just poisoned as it stands. Uh-oh. I don't have my Rumble window open. And Rumble doesn't have chat history. So anyone who sent a Rumble message is not going to get their message read because Rumble does not fucking ever bother to improve their product at all. The most basic fundamental things that you could possibly have on a streaming platform. Your donation history is like top tier S tier priority of like shit that has to work, and it just doesn't, and it's been fucking months and they don't have it. They could pay, you know, these exclusivity contracts with huge streamers, but they can't spend any money to get anything working on par with YouTube when Odyssey has it working fine. It really is a shame that the money goes to like the wrong people, because the people who develop interesting technologies and the people who are good at marketing shit and getting people to fund their bullshit are like completely different groups. I guess that me shitting on Rumble all the time is why they won't ever give me money for an exclusivity contract. I promise to be nicer if they pay me though. All right, I'm done. For the stalwart few who have survived this extremely long super chat segment, I have a wonderful song for you that will fill your heart with mirth, and you will be elated. You will be filled with joy. You'll think, wow, I'm really glad that I stuck it through to the end to hear this. It's a meme song. I remember it from like over a decade ago, and maybe some of you have listened as well and know what I'm talking about. But I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate all the help that people throw in for the podcast and stuff. It really goes a long way. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.
It's okay to be gay. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way. It's okay to be gay. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way. Father figures me out. You're a shooting star. You come so far. I was once in your shoes, in a closet like you. I had nothing to lose. Hey man, gay man, pick up the soul. Get on your knees and pray. Hey man, gay man, release your load. You got to cease to delay. The gay way. It's okay to be gay. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way. Hooray for the man. Oh, strong man, queen of the ball. Some brotherly love is a pleasure for all. Come out, open your eyes. It's a matter of size. Hey man, gay man, pick up the soul. Get on your knees and pray. Hey man, gay man, release your load. You got to cease to delay. The gay way. It's okay to be gay. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Okay to be gay. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way. Sing hallelujah. Sing hallelujah. It's getting to ya. It's getting to ya. Now remember, there's a big difference between kneeling down and bending over. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. It's okay. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way. West is where you should go. To San Francisco, I guess that you know. Together by faith, so the night existed in a gay parade. He-Man, It's okay to be gay. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way.
rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Hooray for the kind of man that you find in the gay way. It's okay to be gay, let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way. Father figures we are a shooting star, you've come so far. I was once in your shoes, in the closet like you, I had nothing to lose. Hey bad gay babe, pick up the soap, get on your knees and pray. Hey bad gay man, release your load, you've got to cease to delay the gay way.